Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the collective live stream for the True Love Warriors. My name is Brandon Tobias. It's great to have you all here. Welcome. Welcome back for a lot of you guys, and welcome for the first time if you are new joining us here. This is a weekly, we like to call it a love stream, or at least I like to call it a love stream. And we talk about the weekly energies of love collectively going on. And everything that's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening when it comes to love specifically in the collective. And what we've realized, I feel through this journey, is that the purpose of romantic love, all of this that we've been watching and listening for and waiting for and hoping for and working our way through, all of it, every single moment, every single minute of it, if we look back on the journey itself, has been for self-growth, self-realization, and ultimately self-empowerment. And if we ask the question why that may have been, what was the purpose of all of it? What was the purpose of the journey and everything we've been through when it comes to love up until this point, as a collective, as a society, and as a world? And you can ask yourself that right now too. What was the actual purpose of it? Where are we going with this? Why is this happening? And what was the reason that we got to have the opportunity to endure, right? So much of the greatest highs of what love has to offer and also the greatest lows. Besides the experience of it all. Because if we could just pause for a second and just say that the experience of it the whole time, it's been like a roller coaster ride, has it not? Right? It's like we've been at Six Flags and we've gotten to go on, a bunch of different rides throughout the amusement park. And then a bunch of us hopped onto this one ride. We decided to get brave. We decided to hop onto this one ride called the True Love roller coaster. And then we hopped onto the ride and we've been going through it ever since. And we're just getting off of that ride and we're just like, whoa, what the heck was that all about? But boy, as heck, was that one crazy and one hell of an experience overall. If nothing else, one hell of an experience. And that's where we're all at, including myself. And I have no idea what is going to come through today on a collective level. It seems to me that this month in particular has been one of the most, if not the most, transformative, metamorphosizing, transmuting energetically months to date, about our perspective, about the energy when it comes to love, the energy when it comes to society and us as a collective. And I want to get back on point here and just focus on, well, why then? If we ask the question, why has this all happened? What is it for? Okay. We must know that there is indeed a greater, higher purpose to everything that's been happening, everything that will happen, and everything that has happened when it comes to your individual story, particularly when it comes to love. The lessons that you have learned, the experience you have gained, the karma that you have released and finished and sent away with love and forgiveness in your story, in your journey, in your path, not only have helped you to see things from a greater perspective overall as a soul, but they've also helped you to grow and to mature and to be all the more wiser so that you could help others in a path of service. And ultimately, I believe that that's where this whole journey, this whole roller coaster ride has led us to. Again, outside of just having the experience of it, to see what it was like, to have a little taste of the magic and the power of true love, but ultimately so that we could come to a place and decide we're going to use these experiences for good or for worse for the service of others on their journey. And if you're new here, that is exactly what this collective, this True Love Warrior Collective, is all about. It's about taking our experiences that we've gone through when it comes to love and taking the fruit, the gems of those experiences, and assessing them and reviewing them and understanding them, and then cultivating them to a point where then we could understand the specific point of view that we as an individual soul are here to give to the other. Okay. So that's what we're here to talk about. And the first thing I'm getting is that every single one of us, right, in going through this journey has a very specific perspective, on the journey itself, why it had to happen, and your individual point of view. And it's your individual point of view that you've been able to gain from the journey itself that is going to be your way of giving back to others and your way of being of service and your way, by the way, of creating an amazing life and living for yourself. Okay? So I want you guys to just start off the intention with this reading, whatever comes through. Just keep in mind, right, every single one of us with that specific point of view, the craft here or the ask here is to sharpen that point of view, your individual perspective on what you've been through. Even though the entire collective has been going through something very similar, right? If we've been watching us week by week, we know that everyone in this collective is going through very similar themes when it comes to love, and yet every single one of us has a very unique point of view of those events. And very specific gift that we've been given through those events. And the first thing Spirit is saying to tell all of us is like, we have to get very clear on what that is, because that particular point of view is your vehicle, is your golden ticket to the life of your dreams that you've always wanted to live specifically. Okay. So the first thing they're asking is to really get clear and to get that out somewhere, okay? To get that out somewhere, whether it's on paper, whether it's in a recording, whether it's in a book, whether it's in a video, right? Just share with yourself, and if you want to, others, but I'm really feeling this is more for yourself, exactly what's happened for you, okay? Not to you, for you, from your point of view, so that you have something on record for this, okay? And this is something, even as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good idea, Spirit. Maybe a book would be good. All right. Oh, my God. There goes the angel numbers. Average watch time, 222. So anyways, let's get into the official structure of what's happening today. Again, for those of you guys who are new, my name is Brandon Tobias. Welcome to my channel, Science of the Soul and Stars. We channel here for the True Love Warrior Collective on a weekly basis. If you want those continued updates in your life for your greatest soul empowerment, to help you find your way and step into your highest soul purpose, this is what this channel is all about and dedicated to you for your service in that way. So be sure to subscribe and join the soul family. Also, do me a favor if you haven't already, like the video. Helps the YouTube algorithm find more people so we can guide more people on our journeys as a collective. All right, so we're going to start off with a channeled oracle message, and then we're going to get into a channeled tarot reading. Again, the intention for this reading is highest messages in love and in life. So they could be specific to love. They could be specific to other areas of life. Just depends on what they would like to share with us today. Then we're going to get into the channeled weekly astrology. And then after that, we're going to do probably some Q&A unless there's some other calling. There might be some other additional reading that Spirit wants me to give is what I'm feeling right now. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you guys for being here. Without further ado, let's start the reading. Opening the ceremony now between myself and the collective here live on YouTube and on TikTok. Calling in the guides, angels, loved ones, masters, and wise ones who are responsible for guiding and helping this collective along when it comes to love and life and soul empowerment. Calling in the energies of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene and Archangel Michael. Asking Spirit for help through the power of light and unconditional love to guide our way for our highest good and healing now and in the future. Please, Spirit, allow me to channel for the highest good and healing specifically for this collective for now and for our future. Thank you so much for being here. This ceremony is now officially open. I am going to start off with some channeled messages. They told me before this to just get into that, so we're going to do that. Okay. Let me see. They did say they had some stuff, so let me just start with channel messages here. Spirit, do you have any channel messages for the collective at this time? In love and in life for the highest good. Okay, here we go. First words I'm hearing is you think you are done, but it is not over. And I'm seeing a visual of an eagle, okay, flying. This visual, actually. it has only just begun. The journey you are on is one that is in need of refreshment, of perspective overall, as to what the overall life purpose was and the meanings that we are and you are placing underneath it. We know it can feel the sorrow that is attached to this current point within the journey. We ask you now to sacrifice that particular sorrow in association with this particular point in the journey overall. Just as a mother must care for her children, her young ones, so too must you care to the elements of life calling and crying out for your attention. It is the battle overall through the difficult elements of what sorrow and sadness can produce that make you a true love warrior. Sometimes pain, sorrow, and sadness, as well as difficulty, are in and of themselves an inherent portion of the journey that was intended to be experienced in order to give you that particular experience of struggle. For it is through struggle that you find out the greatest parts of yourself, the greatest gifts inside, and the beingness of who you truly are. If you are feeling pain and if you are feeling struggle at this moment in time, we want you to know mostly that this is not a coincidence nor an accident. This is, in and of itself, an important part of the journey and an important part of the perspective that you shall integrate and take with you as a warrior, as a true love warrior, for the rest of the collective around. It is these hard times in particular that make your story and your journey worthwhile. It is through the greatest pain that you gain the perspective of the greatest joy and the journey that life has to offer overall. Without pain, there would be no pleasure. Without sorrow, there would be no celebration. We want to applaud you for your progress in this, your understanding in this, and your determination and persistence through these particular moments in time. Moment by moment, we ask, as you are aware of the struggle, of this particular heartache, to realize that it is only here to create an even more experienced version of yourself for you to wear upon your heart and upon your sleeve and to be proud of. And they're showing me like an army general. They're showing me like a like a certificate or like a badge or an emblem or something like that. Like I forget what it's called. A badge, I guess, like a badge of honor. Yeah. It is your pain that will inspire others the most. And that's it. Okay. All right. Those are the channel messages. Funny, they told me to be brave. I always ask for advice before we go live from them, and they told me to be brave and honest. I'm like, and I see now why. I'm like, man, we got to deliver these messages today, huh? All right. All right, let's get into the channel oracle reading. Thank you, Spirit, for those messages. I appreciate it. Goodness gracious. True Love Warrior Collective. I mean, there's no doubt about that that's exactly what this is, yeah? And I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool that they're addressing us exactly as that. Maybe they're doing that just because that's what we're calling ourselves. You know what I mean? But I'm just like, that's pretty cool that they're addressing it. Like addressing us as warriors. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. All right. Let's get to the channel oracle reading. Jelaine, I'm not sure what you said. But it looks like a spirit was speaking to you. All right. All right, spirit guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones. What are the messages that this collective in particular needs to know for our highest good and healing at this time through the power of unconditional love? Any beings who are here to be of helpful guidance to the power of unconditional love. The medicine wheel. The medicine wheel. The smoky mirror again. Water. Stand still. Coyote and the gatherer. Okay. And the ghost dance. So the first message here, especially with ghost dance underneath the deck, okay, to me this is going to signify that whatever has been happening in the past, whatever's been happening in our energy, right, our energy field, whatever's been happening in our subconscious, okay, that is going to be, you can expect that to still be lingering around, okay? Like it's not necessarily going anywhere anytime soon. It's just kind of like a lingering feeling, energy, or even memory of the past, okay? Now, what I do feel is that it's kind of either dormant and or on its way out from our energy, okay? Almost in full now have we been able to, this collective in particular, right, which is most likely more of the divine feminine, almost completely now have we been able to take back and gain sovereignty over our own energy in the way we feel, in the way that we want to experience, and in the ways that are best for us as an individuated soul. However, this memory, this thought, this energy from the past here is going to be lingering around deep down in the subconscious with the moon card here for a little while. And there's the spiral, right? So deep down in the depths of your soul, there are still going to be lingering little feelings here and there. And they're saying it's just okay, it's normal to expect that. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? And when and where you can, it is appropriate to take measures, because we had the blade there as well, to continue to let go, to detach from, to cut away, right? Any sort of attachments or bonds that have been created through this past energy here, okay? And again, knowing that it's mostly energy at this point. It's mostly energy at this point. Okay, so they're being very specific about that, is to take ownership over your own energy right now. Like there are specific things, and I've mentioned cord cutting a lot, but there's very specific things they're saying, like, don't just ignore that. Like, don't just like continue to struggle or like feel not completely in your own body, heart, mind, and soul, have this thing from the past haunt you. They're saying when that happens, it's important to take specific actions to cleanse your energy and to gain and increase your sovereignty energetically. Okay. In fact, before the reading today, they actually told me to use some levels of protection for whatever reason. So I have selenite here. I have both my black obsidians are here too. But I would say that goes for the collective as well, just to be aware. Now, in the middle of the spread here, we have standstill and we have medicine wheel, smoky mirror, and water. Okay. And look, smoky mirror and ghost dance is here too. So for whatever reason, right, the collective's definitely being put through so much of some type of lingering illusion, all right? Some type of lingering illusion that is fairly persistent, okay, when it comes to what we're perceiving or what we're feeling. And it's almost just like, we've been talking about this for a while, like traversing through the unknown, but it's really just like I'm getting this image of someone just the fog is here and they're just like putting the fog to the left, putting the fog to the right, and just like looking this way. It's like, oh, looking this way. It's like, no, looking this way. And there's just like no way out of it. You know what I mean? And the answer here, if you are finding yourself in that place of like, oh my gosh, like what is the actual truth? Like, get out of the way, fog. Like, get out of the way, fog. Like, let me look over there. Let me look over here. Let me look over here. It's like, that's not going to help. Because the answer here, as you can see, both these people are just sitting in it. They're just sitting in it. They're nice and calm, right? Nothing's going on. They're just meditating. They're just being with themselves. They're just even more within themselves, right? No energy at this point in time in the highest way is going outward to anyone or anything, okay, besides themselves. And everything that they are doing, there's care in mind to ensure that their energy is being refilled and reciprocated with every action that they take or do, okay? So it's a very strong message here to really cut ties energetically from anyone or anything where your energy has been going to or outwards or leaking outwards, and to just bring it back within your own soul. You're in your own sovereignty, and to doubly focus down. And then to go even one step further, to keep it there and to cultivate it there, okay? Instead of trying to find out, discover, or look through the fog and confusion. Because what I'm getting here is like, it's like wading in a riptide or something like that. You know, if you guys ever tried to wade around or swim in a riptide, it's like you're doing all this wading and this swimming, and you're like, oh my God, like what's going on? And you're not going anywhere. And you're not making any progress. That is exactly the energy that I'm getting right here. Okay. So the advice here is to just kind of even more double or triple down on sitting within yourself and your own stillness, and cutting away or letting go of or detaching really from any energetic attachment that is wanting to bring your energy outward again. Does that make sense? All right. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying like, you know, if there are ways in which you are helping other people or serving other people, it's not saying that to stop doing that, right? But it's to ensure that you and your own body, your own sovereignty and self are taken care of first. Okay. We have the medicine wheel, the water, the gatherer here, and the coyote. So gatherer here in the water, it's really important. One of the biggest things that I'm feeling here to talk about and to stress upon, doubly so, is to look at the benefits, of everything that you as a soul have gained and realized in your journey when it comes to love and life up until this moment in time. The default perspective, right? The default perspective, or the temptation for a lot of us, myself included, is again to try and have that energy where we're trying to find things out, try to swim through the riptide, swim through the fog, find out why this happened, what's going on a surface level, and to try and find peace like that. And it's like, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about the why of what's going on a surface level, because that's not going to make sense. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you try to find out why something ended or happened in a certain way on a tangible surface level, if you are becoming like obsessively confused and trying to search for that truth about why something happened on a surface level, you're trying to find peace, right? Because of that, you're not going to find it. You're not meant to find it. And the reason why is because our lesson is to learn to find our own peace within, independent of having any sense of clarity or understanding on a surface level about why something happened in any situation, why someone did something, why a love situation turned out the way it did, why things are happening in a certain way. You're not going to find it. But the important thing is to just realize and to look at, okay, what you have gathered, what you have become, and the benefits of what has happened overall. That is the most important thing. I can't stress it enough. I can't stress enough. If you can be willing to let go and surrender the need to understand exactly why something happened and just look at the benefits of it, you're going to be in a much better place. And so that would be my recommendation from Spirit. We have the Coyote showing up again, as always, my Divine Feminine card. And we have Water over here. You're being watched. You're being watched. Definitely. It's the first thing I get here. You're being watched. I don't think you know it. I don't think you realize it. And it's honestly nothing for you to concern yourself about. Like, I really want to stress, even though that is the message that's coming through very strongly, very certainly, actually, it's nothing to concern yourself about. That might be something too that you are wondering about or concerning yourself about, is like, oh my gosh, is someone observing me? Is someone watching me? Like, is someone still curious about me? It's like, from what I can see, yes. But it's nothing at all that you should even put any energy towards in any sort of way. And in fact, it's part of what you should be actively, in the best of ways, allowing yourself to detach from. And the energy from which they're saying to share this with is like, okay, great. I'm being watched. Maybe by a certain person, maybe by other people, maybe just generally. I'm being observed. Awesome. I hope they get what they need from it. Right? I hope that my work, my beingness, my self can be of service to them if they do indeed are actively observing me and my actions. But nothing more than that. Do you guys feel the energy from which I'm coming with that? Right? That is very much still within myself. That's the energy they're recommending. Like, doing and knowing these truths, like, this is something to be aware of for sure. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come out. But not acting upon it. Not allowing it to aid in the chaos or confusion of the mind of trying to figure out, well, why are they watching me? What does it mean? Maybe they secretly still love me. Maybe we blah, 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 right? It's like, don't even go down that path. There's no need to. There's no need to. You know what I mean? So they're just saying right here, okay, within yourself, fully and totally. All right. And we have Water here. So Water here, it's an amazing element. Okay, I feel like last week we had Fire, and it's been fiery for a lot of time. Now it's Water. Now Water is the element of forgiveness. Okay, it's understanding, it's compassion, and it's forgiveness. So the first and primary asset that they're telling me here to understand is that we're the element of compassion and forgiveness overall right now on the globe, right? Because the first thing I saw was like a globe of water. And it's like this collective right here is populating the globe with this element of water, or that's our task, which is of forgiveness and compassion. So the more forgiveness and compassion we can cultivate within ourselves, particularly in our own individual experience in a situation or towards a certain person, the more overall collectively we can fill this globe with the element of water, which again, love and compassion, understanding, which will then have tremendous amounts of ripple effects on the earth. Because if we can bring this energy of forgiveness and compassion to one person, when we've been through the ringer and true love in a situation, then, right, the hardest possible situation to do it with, like I feel like we've been put through like the hardest possible situation to actually bring forgiveness and compassion to a situation. That's been the challenge of our battle. Like we're being asked to give forgiveness in this situation and compassion in this situation for what this person, right, quote unquote, did to us. And yes, we are. And if we can bring it to this situation, we can bring it to the rest of the world in an even easier way. It's like what I'm hearing is like it'll be a switch. It's like we'll just know, right, that power, that superpower. By the way, love and forgiveness is a superpower. Okay? Think of the most powerful people. I don't know too many historical figures, but Gandhi comes to mind. Okay? Martin Luther King, Jesus, right? The most powerful possible people on the planet historically used love and forgiveness as their superpower, i.e. they gained more power within themselves to impact others with forgiveness. So what we are training ourselves as warriors to become and to do and to be is to be able to utilize the superpower of love and forgiveness. Because, of course, this will extend our ability to most powerfully impact the world and other people around us. Okay? All right. Oh, one more card, the medicine wheel. Funny, we went all the way around. Like, medicine wheel was the first card that came out, and I just skipped it. I just went all the way around, and now we got to come all the way back around the wheel, right? But here's what's interesting, is we have the snake in here, we have the eagle and the snake again. So those of you guys who have been watching this for a while, you guys know the eagle and the snake have been very symbolic. Looks like we have a cheetah and a hummingbird. So this journey, it's really, it's all encompassing in here, right? All of the journey. So we have the twin flame journey here with the snake, of course, and the human Kundalini energy journey. We have the eagle of what we're in right now, I believe, okay, which is gaining that higher perspective, kind of that fifth dimensional overview of what's going on and what's happening. We have the cheetah energy, which I would say that's more like badass feminine warrior energy. Okay, don't mess with me. And then the hummingbird here, which is, of course, wealth and abundance and prosperity. So we can't forget, right, all of these elements. These are all the elements, by the way, of what this journey has taken us through. That's amazing. So we've been taken through the journey of love and soul connection with the snake. We've been taken through the journey of gaining a higher perspective of wisdom of what's going on a universal level. We've gained the power of, these are all the superpowers. These aren't just perspectives. These are superpowers. We've gained the power of, okay, badass, feminine, right, sovereign soul warrior. Don't frickin' mess with me, or I'll cut your throat out. That's Pallas, Athena, feminine warrior. And the hummingbird, which is just the amazing and beautiful synchronistic gift of prosperity and abundance from the universe. All of these are meant for us through this journey and because of this journey. So you have to know, if you choose to continue to battle this out through all of the feelings, all of these superpowers, these gifts will be yours. They will all be yours. Okay? All right. Awesome. All right, Spirit said to use the wild unknown. Actually, let me check the comments real quick. Check in with you guys. Take some sips of cacao. Sana said too much detaching. I know, it was a lot. Let me move the here we go. Is water meek? Monique says. Wow. These are good questions, and we'll see at the end if we're going to be answering Q&A. I'm not sure. Firefly says mood. Monique says check. Michelle says I'm all about my career path and money, being a loving yet confident queen. alone part, though. Can it be true? We do so much work. We give out so much love. Why can't we have the love that we want? I love my teenage boy watching me step into my power. Awesome. Jelaine says, what are we missing? Why do we have to do so much healing when others get to do it so easy? Okay. I'm going to answer this, Jelaine. I'm going to answer you. I'm going to address you directly. Okay. Before we move on, I feel it's an important point to address, because this is the pain, right? This is the pain that, and I don't mean to, get away from the reading itself, because we are going to continue in a second here with the channel tarot reading. But I do think it's a very important point to address. So she says specifically, the perspective she's bringing to this collective right now is, why can't we have the love that we want? We've been putting out so much, loving so much, doing all of the work. Why can't we have the love? Where's the love, Spirit? We deserve love, right? I feel you. I think everyone can feel that. And that's why I'm addressing it. I'm addressing it because this is a collective pain. It's a collective pain for the feminine. Why the hell, when we have done so much, we have put in so much work, we have loved so deeply, we have healed so much, we have done all the spiritual work, why in God's name do we not get to experience the love that we deserve right now in this moment? How many of you guys are feeling like this? Yeah, you can put it in the chat. You can put it on you can raise your virtual hand. Okay. And the truth is, I don't know. I wish I could give you an answer, Jelaine. But from what I can channel and what I can feel and what I can give to you as the best possible words of wisdom and compassion that I can summon in this particular moment, is it's never been about that. It's never been about that. It's never been precisely about having what we want. Okay. There's a difference in experiencing and having in life what we want versus what we need. Okay. And I know this isn't easy to hear, understand. Believe me, I know. Because love, again, is the greatest possible experience and the greatest possible gift that we are here to experience. Right? Everyone desires to be in love. But we forget that love is only and always has been the catalyst, the greatest catalyst to helping us grow as a soul and become as empowered as we possibly can to give our gifts and our understanding of ourselves and of the world in the highest possible way. Okay? We must always remember that perspective. As hard as it is to remember, as hard as it is to remind ourselves about, the gifts that we and you have been given through potentially and because maybe of not being in love, okay, are always going to be more meaningful and significant on your journey in the greater perspective, the greater view, than perhaps if you were happily in love. And I have to share something real quick, just to really hone this point in. Okay, me as a human would not be here right now. I would not be here talking to you guys, having created this YouTube channel or live stream. We would not have the True Love Warrior Collective. We would not be getting this weekly guidance. We would not be having amazing, incredible, life-changing, transformational conferences in Texas someday if my love situation had worked out. Let that sink in for a second. If God had given me the love that I so desperately wanted, so desperately was clinging to, so desperately felt that I deserved and was worthy of because of all that I had given, then I would not be here today, giving all of us what we need to find empowerment to be of the greatest service we can for the world. And I want you to take that perspective, and I want you to look at now in your own life the differences in the person that you've become in your journey because love has not worked out and you have not received what you've wanted so badly, and the gifts from that. Okay? And that's the best that I can do at this particular moment. Remember, it's about gathering the gifts of why, not understanding. Okay? All right. I'm going to get into the reading. I wish I could read you guys' comments. It looks like it's pretty active here. All right. Spirit guides, loved ones, masters, wise ones, angels, and archangels, please. Messages in love and in life for our highest and greatest good for this True Love Warrior Collective. What is it that we need to know at this particular moment in time? What are the messages? For our greatest and highest good at this particular time, through the power of unconditional love. Ooh, Two of Swords. The World. Wow. The Five of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Ace of Wands, the Daughter of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. All right. Okay, people. In the Law of One, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. It's an amazing channel text that talks about the nature of the universe, why we're all here, and it's channeled from a sixth dimensional entity called Ra. I've listened to a lot of channel texts in my day, and this is one of the most powerful and profound books and readings I've ever had, and explains everything. One of the things he says, this entity, Ra, is that here in the third dimension, the point of life, the point of living in the third dimension in order for us to evolve is to choose a path of polarity, to choose a path in our life of positive polarity and service, and or negative polarity or service to self. Okay? This is literally the point. Both of them being equally valid from a higher dimensional view, because the dark path gives contrast or perspective to the light. Without the darkness, there would be no perspective or power from the light. Okay? This is the purpose of what and where we are at, because we all are facing a choice at this particular time, especially if we have dealt with someone or in a situation who's carried within them a choice of following a darker path or service to self path or negatively polarizing path. We now find ourselves at a crossroads as to what we would like to do. And that crossroads is either to stay exactly where we are without making a choice. That's one. To attempt to, but I think that that's been blocked off, to be honest with you, follow, okay, that situation or that entity or person into the darkness. Okay, because that's exactly what will happen is if we try to chase, right? If we try to search or chase for anyone or anything else going a different way, then we ourselves start to embody and envelop in that darkness that took them away in the first place. Or we have the choice to go the complete opposite way into all of the lights, all of the service, all of the how can I be of the greatest possible service for others on this planet? How can I use myself, my gifts, and who I am as a soul and my experiences to help and to be a positive benefit. If you take a second right now and you ask yourself, how in this moment, not in the future, not in the past, in this particular moment, can I use what I have to positively be of the most service for others around me? You will get an answer. That's what I'm hearing. Everyone who's watching this, you will have an answer as to how you, in this moment in time, not in the future, again, not in the past, now, can take what you know and your gifts and start to help others. That is the choice. That is the choice. And I want you guys to remember something that's equally as important with this as well. And that is the fact that not choosing is also a choice. Not choosing is also a choice. And it is impossible to evolve any further from here without choosing your path. It's impossible. Okay? You can continue to evolve either by following the negative path of polarity and choosing the path to self, and following someone or something in your life that has chosen that path, or to not choose, as equally as valid. Or you can choose yourself to go in a certain direction that will continue to give you more power, light, and service in your own soul to others. And this will allow you to continue to evolve as a human being in your life, like to up-level your life, not just on a soul level. Like evolution on a soul level, that's great. I love that. But I'm talking about in your own life. Like if you want to continue evolving everything in your life, whether it's wealth, whether it's relationships, whether it's just home and housing and convenience, right? In travel and enjoyment of life, of true love, of experiencing true love, Jelaine, right? Then you have to choose the path of positive polarity if you want to continue to up-level. And again, we have the choice as to whether we don't want to choose anything or whether we can or want to choose. But what I'm getting here is in order to continue to receive Ace of Wands, that light of inherent motivation in your life and passion, it's got to be either way. Because to sit in the middle of not choosing that certain path, you're going to start to, one, stagnate, possibly, or lose out on vital energy, and not evolve, and not up-level your life. You have an opportunity, if you're listening to this, to up-level your life significantly from this point. Significantly. Like, I'm not just talking in a minor way. If you're watching this right now, significantly up-level your life. But it has to come from service. Or service to self. Either way. Okay. Now, I'm guessing most of us, right, if you're listening to this, probably aren't going to choose the service to self path. Okay. And the reason we've been exposed to someone or a situation who has chosen service to self path or the negative polarity is so we could decide and understand we don't want to be on that path. We want to be on the path, the opposite of that. But then the next step is going all in to that choice. Not just half-assing like, okay, yeah, I think I'm going to be of service to others, but I kind of still want to be with myself or care about myself. Or you got to go all in. You got to burn the ships. You got to burn the ships behind you. Like, you know what? The rest of my life, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find out how I'm going to be of the greatest path to service I possibly can be. That's the energy that if you're going to choose, that I would recommend choosing from. Because half-assing it ain't going to cut it anymore. How many guys can say, I know for me too. That's why we're talking about this. It's like, yeah, you know, we can see ourselves being more of the light and of service, but then there's still certain things or people we associate with or habits that we do that are just kind of not concerned with that. And that's okay. But it's an all-in dedication to finding that. Now, if you find, you will. If you seek, you will find. If you seek, you will find. If you consciously make that decision to seek, you will find it. You will find the answers of how your soul can be of most service to everyone around you. You will find your path to abundance. You will find your path to love. You will find all of that stuff, but you have to decide now. Okay, let this be a wake-up call. Yep. Five of Pentacles with the World card. It's the end. It's the end of something. It's a major deciding point in your life. Major deciding point in your life. The only thing that would keep you from choosing, by the way, is this right here. Five of Pentacles. Fear of missing out. Fear of losing out. Fear of, oh, but what if? Okay? How could it happen like that? How could they fill in the blanks? How could? What if? Why? Succumbing to the weight of this sadness and loss. It's okay to feel this, by the way. I'm not saying don't feel this, but I'm saying succumbing to this, sitting with it, letting it bear down on your soul until it crushes you and not doing anything about it, that's where the problem might lie. And that is why and where we have to make this choice in this. We're facing this crossroads right here. Because if you want to start to replenish and to receive more vital energy, right, everything you do from here on out has to be about path to service or path to others. Okay. As a small little caveat here, I say service to others, but serving yourself in certain positive ways is also service to others. And service to others is service to self. Okay? So I'm not saying to just completely give everything that you have all the time to other people and let yourself die. Right? It's reciprocal service to others that benefits you as well. That's what I mean by that. All right. Daughter of Cups with the Nine of Cups. All right. You know, the reason why it's kind of this, we're being asked to engage in this passivity when it comes to love. Okay? That's the first word that comes to me with this Daughter of Cups. It's like we're being asked to engage in this real element of passivity and openness when it comes to love. Okay? You can see this Daughter of Cups here. It is a playful energy. It's a fun energy. It's a casual energy. It's not wanting or desiring anything serious at this time when it comes to love, right? I would say that, if anything, the collective right now, the feminine at least, is in that space. It's a good space to be in, okay? It's a positive space to be in, okay? And the reason why is because there really is no more need to stress about a situation, to worry or to wonder if something's going to work out. There's no more need for that, okay? That is very much so what has ended, what needs to end. It already has come to an end. Okay, it already has come to an end. If you're watching and listening, resonating, right, you probably have found a place in your own soul where you're like, that's just over. It's just done. But now where do we go from here, right? That's the choice. That's the choice that Spirit is bringing to us right now. So the recommendation here: engage in passivity. Okay. With the knowingness too, by the way, through this passivity when it comes to love, that you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about when it comes to receiving and experiencing your actualized wish fulfillment when it comes to love. Nine of Cups with the World card. Okay. It may feel like what has come to a close was what would have been your wish fulfillment, but I promise you, there's an even better one on the way. An even higher and in more congruence and alignment wish fulfillment on its way, existing and being manifested for you at this particular time. In its own time. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Daughter of Swords, Daughter of Pentacles. Oh, man. I mean, are they clear or are they clear? You know what I mean? Like, there we go. 10 of Swords in the middle of the deck, the middle of the spread, with the 2 of Swords here. Okay. By the way, also, It's like something's ending, something is dead. Okay, something is dead in water. Wow. And briefly what I'm hearing, right? It's not so much, you got to know, like, it's not so much whether or not you have a choice to continue with this thing. Because it's just you don't. Like, you can't revive something that died. Like, I don't know about you guys. I haven't heard of a way of bringing something back to life, like bringing someone who died back to life. That is exactly the energy of the situation. Like, no matter how much you would have wanted it to happen, it's just dead. So trying to put energy into something that's dead, again, it's just going to waste your energy and your time. But the choice really is, where do you go from here? Now, what I have to be very serious about, though, is, again, how you respond to this. Because it may be something that you are considering or even choose to do to try and revive something that already died. Like, to try and put your energy towards something or someone that's just energetically, right? The connection has been dead. And I'm telling you right now, I'm pleading with you. If you're wondering about that, if you were just like, maybe I can, no. It's dead. Okay? Let it go. Let it be. Now you choose from that place. You don't choose because of that place. You choose from that place where to go from here. Okay? Is it making sense to you guys? All right. They just wanted to be very clear about that because, again, I'm getting like some of us might be wondering like, oh, maybe we're still on that journey with that certain person, that situation. Some of us, it might even be a twin flame situation, right? Dead in the water. So just know that if you're experiencing that, right, that is a very true thing, and there's no reason to doubt that or to try and, again, revive something that died. 8 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. Look, here again is that observational energy, all right? And they just want me to stress it, like Daughter of Swords with the 9 of Swords here, right? So it's this investigation energy. It's this investigation energy that is going to cause, right, longer term or continued suffering. And it's not that you can stop yourself from being observed or from knowing that you're being watched or observed from afar from maybe other people or a certain person. You can't stop that, right? That's not up to you, even though you may be able to feel it. But it's you being pulled into that. That's the problem. That's what will cause longer term suffering for you if you decide to allow yourself to continue to engage with that, of the wondering of, well, again, maybe this, maybe that, blah, blah, blah. Don't do it. It's my recommendation. You can do whatever you want, but I would recommend not doing that. That is the only thing that would cause, okay, continued or longer term suffering, as opposed to just letting it be, letting it go. All right. All right. 8 of Wands and the Daughter of Pentacles. It does feel like the place we've come to, that there is a place of magic when it comes to being able to spontaneously explore our own livelihood and our own lives and our own beingness. All right. So in terms of like the experience of what life has to offer, and again, this could be anything from travel, it could be anything from experiencing new experiences, it could be anything from, just doing certain things that allow you to discover more of yourself, right? It feels like there's this epiphany that comes to you about the importance of this at this particular time in your journey. So you're realizing just how much and just how important and just how much you desire to finally have a chance to explore these parts of yourself, right, in your life that you've never gotten a chance to explore, potentially because of love. And it's the gift. It's one of the gifts. I'm gonna, if it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating, but I'm gonna continuously mention all of the gifts that have come out of this true love situation that we're channeling because of and about. And one of those gifts is the time and space required for us to be with and enjoy time with ourselves. Apologize for the camera here. In a way that we never would have engaged with, because typically, if we hadn't been engaged with something of the caliber of deep, true soul connection love, we'd just be on to the next. We'd be like, okay, well, that situation wrapped up. That situation dead, but I'm good. Let's go out and date some other people. Cool. Who's going to be my next partner? Right? What's going to be my next experience in love? But the severity and the pain and struggle that's been involved in this depth of a connection because of the seriousness of it is not giving us the space to be able to comfortably enjoy or continue as we normally would have. But instead, it's forcing us to simply do the things with ourselves because we have no interest engaging with love or other people at this time because of the seriousness of this again. That is the gift. You know what I mean? Because normally we would use love as a distraction. We'd use love as, okay, well, let's go find another relationship. Let's go date some other people. Let's go find some other experiences there. And now that's not available because we're so damn shaken by the severity of what has happened. It's like, well, I guess there's nothing else better to do than just do the things we've been putting off for our whole lives and to explore those aspects of ourselves. You know what I mean? Oh, boy. All right. Let me see if I can get my camera back on. It overheated pretty quickly today. Normally it doesn't overheat that. I was testing it earlier. All right. So last row here, we have the High Priestess, the Star card, and the Two of Cups. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely there's an intuitive knowing here on this left side, right? World, Daughter of Swords, and the High Priestess. There's an intuitive knowingness, one, that you are being watched or observed, or that energy keeps trying to creep back into your space, right? How many of you guys are feeling that? Like there's an intuitive knowingness of this happening, or just kind of a lingering energy, a presence, yeah? Not to sound creepy about it, but there's definitely something there of like it keeps trying to make its way back in. So there's an intuitive knowing about that. That's definitely true. If you have been feeling that or experiencing that, less so than before, but definitely it's there. Star card here with the Two of Cups. With the Star card here and the Two of Cups. Actually, I'm going to draw two more here. Father of Cups and the Hangman. Okay. The first thing they're giving me here with the Star card with the Daughter of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, it's almost like it's using this pain of desire or longing and lack. Okay, this pain, specifically this pain or hurt of desire, longing, and lack, that is helping us to step into our greater destiny and intended purpose, and to mature and find ourselves in a way that we can become the highest version of ourselves. Like they're showing me with the Star card and the Daughter of Pentacles here, it's almost like an evolution of self, like an evolution of who you thought you were and what you thought you wanted. It's like you went from a one way of particular being or knowing of who you were and who you thought you were and what you thought you wanted. And it's transitioning into a whole new major, completely different thing. And right now we're literally in the middle of that transition. You guys feel that? Like we're in the transition from who and what we thought we were and who we thought we wanted and what we thought we wanted, totally being transferred over into this whole new. And they just want you to know, like, that is the Star card here. You are finding yourself through now, right, the pain and disruption of desire and lack or loss. And it's just so perfect and so beautiful. And I'm so grateful for you, Jelaine, for bringing this up, because that question you had right? That longing you had, that is precisely what I'm talking about here. That is exactly to a T the Five of Pentacles energy that was being channeled. It's that energy, right? That's the Five of Pentacles. Like, why? Why can we not have this certain thing that we feel that we want or deserve or desire that would make us happy? That's the Five of Pentacles. And the answer is because of who you're becoming in the process. That is of a totally different desire for your life than who you thought you were or who you were actually. Because many of us went from being in a place where we thought we wanted to be in love with someone and even have a family or settle down or do this certain thing. And now that's completely changing or different, or that's just gone. And that's because of this whole situation. Okay. Now, middle row here in the bottom, we have Two of Cups showing up right after the Ten of Swords. Interesting and somewhat complicated message, I would say. Because the twos are here. 2, 2, 1. And the first thing that comes to me with this is, especially with it showing up after the Ten of Swords. Okay. Okay, I get it. So they're saying the thing that has to come to an end, or has come to an end, all right, is the actualized, tangible reality, need, or desire of coming into a partnership, like a real relationship or partnership with a certain person and within a situation. Okay. That is, for this time being and potentially permanently, the utmost recommendation to take into account on your soul's journey for this collective right now. Okay. Which they're saying is very different from the love that you can hold for someone on a soul level and generally. And and they want you guys to they want all of us to differentiate that, right? There's two different things to be in an actual tangible partnership or loving relationship. Oh, wow. This is really deep. Okay. This is really deep. Let me just take a sip of cacao. It always, when I don't get the definitions of what's going on, I know it's something really deep that I haven't understood yet, but I get it now. So give me one sec. Cacao's good today, but it's a little foamy. It's such a goofball, Brennan. All right. So there's a difference between, when it comes to love, when it comes to true love, they're saying there's a difference between what we thought was love. This is kind of complicated. True love is evolving or needs to evolve in a way that includes being in a reciprocal, tangible, actualized, action-oriented partnership and relationship. Okay? So they're saying the key here is to realize that the love that you felt for an individual in a situation from your past that may still be lingering, okay? That is love on a extremely deep and spiritually tangible soul level. Very real. That is very different from actualized human, earthly relationship love that can take place within a structured container or partnership. Does that make sense? That's why the Two of Cups is showing up here. Two of Cups for me is about an actual union, right? Like an actual tangible union. Okay? And the challenge here for the feminine is knowing that, is realizing that those are two different things. Is realizing that wow, like just because I feel such a depth of soul level, deep, real love for another individual does not mean that they are meant to, worthy of, or able to participate in an actual loving partnership container here in this lifetime on earth. Because there may be circumstances that have happened, right, that have literally prevented that from happening or killed off any chance of that happening. All right. So they're saying the lesson here is to differentiate between that and to let that be what it is. That can still be what it is. And then what you truly actually want when it comes to your real life relationships, which is what I was more getting in the Nine of Cups energy over here. Like the type of relationship, the energy of the relationship that you want to experience, the dream level of that, of like your greatest desire. Imagine, right? Imagine what that would look like. What would that feel like? How would you be treated? How would you treat them? What would the container look like itself? What would the experience of it be? Right? What would their characteristics or personality be like? Again, that gave you back as much as you're giving out, and that allowed you to have the greatest experience of your life. Potentially devoid or less containing pain, right? I would say that that's part of my wish fulfillment, is like being in a relationship that doesn't have too much pain, is more complimentary or supportive. Okay. But think about what that might be. And then that will, okay, help you to differentiate between those two things and to move forward in actualizing that. Okay. Because again, chances are with this previous situation or energy, there's no chance of that situation becoming or turning into what you know you are worthy of or deserving in an actualized relationship where both parties are on the same page working together to create something, okay? Despite the feelings of love you have, all right? Anyways, I probably butchered that one, but I did the best I could. Father of Cups and the Hangman. Nine of Swords. Yeah. This Hangman, again, it's just a reminder. With this Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups, again, this is about taking the energy back into ourselves, right? In and despite, like with the Nine of Cups, the Nine of Swords, you know, any feelings of concern about, again, is it going to come to me? Do I have to find it? Where or when is it going to come from? Okay. Any searching that you might want to do for love or relationship or for actualization, it's like, just relax at this moment in time. Just relax. Just take a load off. Hangman, pull back. Pull back. Everything's going to be just fine. Everything's going to be just fine. There's no need to concern or worry about anything or anyone at this time. Your dream situation in love, okay, believe it or not, is being formulated. It's being manifest right now. It exists already. I can feel it. I can actually feel it, right, in the ether. Like it's there. But it's just not time yet. But worrying or concerning yourself about anything external in that way or trying to figure it out, that's just... it would not be of highest service, right, or recommendation for you. Father of Cups here. You know, what's interesting is we talked about evolution, right? We talked about evolution of the energies of who we were into who we are now. And it's really like what I'm getting in this spread, which is kind of cool. I'm going to show you guys in a second as soon as my camera turns back on. But we have, I'm just going to give it a shot right now. We have all of the energies moving to a place where they're now evolved to their higher form, right? We have over here the Daughter of Swords turning into the High Priestess. We have the Daughter of Pentacles turning into, right, the Destined Fated, okay, of support or service to the universe is what was channeled for this card. And now we have the Daughter of Cups down here with the Daughter or the Father of Cups, right? So it's just taking who we were and what we were, and again, the fruit or the gift of it evolving into something higher. Now the Daughter of Cups moving into the Father of Cups, all right? Remember we channeled for this kind of being more passive, being more casual about it, right? Allowing what is to be is, and what to come, what's manifesting to be manifest. But the other energy of this is taking your attitude or approach when it comes to love and who you define yourself in as love, and up-leveling that. Because again, through the trials we've been through, you have and are graduating now into a full-on true love warrior with a badge of honor, which was channeled in the very beginning, for and to the world and its collective. Like, you have been through the trials now that would allow you to be the strongest possible, most loving and courageous version of you because of this love situation we've all been through. Okay? So it's like, wherever you go, whatever you do, you have to know your experiences and your wisdom that you've gained are forever going to be here for you to embody and to integrate and to wear on your heart and sleeve, so that others can be protected by you, by this experience that you've had, and also be served by you. Okay? And it's using that, I'm hearing, as fuel for your journey to service. Fuel. If you choose to take the perspective of, wow, all of this has happened so that I can receive the gifts and knowledge and experience I needed to receive to be a true love warrior for the earth, to help serve others, serve and protect others in the name of love, because of the battles that I've endured and the badge of honors that I'm wearing, you will know what to do. I'm hearing you will know what to do with all of that. You will know where to go. It's crazy to me how many of you, a lot of you have gotten astrology readings from me, right? A lot of you. It's insane to me that almost every single one of you guys who has gotten an astrology reading has had very similar alignments going on with Juno, the 7th house, and the 10th or 9th house. Meaning that true love, twin flame energy, was always meant to help you be on your greatest path to service, and or you were meant to understand the depths of what true love is so that you can be of service. Every single one of you guys. I'm trying to think of a client where that wasn't the case. It comes through in different ways, right? But always there was that theme or lesson of, wow, here's another true love warrior. Here's another true love warrior, right? So if you channel that energy and go, okay, God, soul, Jesus, whoever you talk to, Archangel Michael, higher self, intuition, universe, whatever it is you talk to, okay? Where and how and what do I do from here with the experiences you have given me in my life, and who and how do I serve with these experiences that I've gotten now? And if you do that, you will know the answer. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. You will know the answer. Final outcome is the Mother of Cups. Oh boy. The Magician and the 9 of Wands. All right. The journey continues, everyone. Here's your match. Here's your match. All right. Your match is someone who gives as much as you give from the heart. Okay? Someone who fully and readily opens and gives their heart to you. To match and be grateful for, right? All that you've been through when it comes to love. Like, I'm hearing the level of service that you've provided. Jelaine, sorry I keep bringing you up, but I think it's just so beautiful how we pointed this out. The service that you have given in love and in life. The dedication through which you've given. The struggles that you've been through. The question was, why can't we have what we truly desire? And the answer is this. Spirit has not forgotten about you. And if you think that this is something that is never going to come or never has a chance to come, then you're wrong. I see it right here. I see it. Okay. Mother and Father of Cups, Magician and the Nine of Wands. This is the positive, the more positive, quote unquote, positive or enjoyable aspects of love, from what I'm getting. Okay. So when you are ready, and by the way, it's over the Nine of Cups. You guys see that? You guys see how that came out? It's right over the Nine of Cups. So when we are ready, the experience of enjoying the positive aspects of love, the enjoyable aspects of love, mutual give and take on a heart level, fully opened heart level love, both on the positive path together, bringing love and service to the world in the same caliber of service, but mutually complementary. That is what awaits. Okay. Which is likely what we've desired the entire time. And what we've been struggling to create. Is this mutual, reciprocal, complementary love experience that comes from the heart. And I just love that they channeled this in a way that was like, if it's not Father of Wands, Mother of Wands, right? It's not Father of Swords, Mother of Swords, right? It's not lower matching energies, Prince of Wands, Princess of Wands, things like that, Daughter of Cups, Son of Cups. It's Mother of Cups, Father of Cups. Again, in love, the greatest possible match and reciprocal loving energy that you could possibly enjoy and experience in a positive, quote unquote, positive way or enjoyable way. That is what is here for you. If, there's a big if, you do choose that positive path of service. Because you will find this person who's willing and able to give their entire heart and soul to you if you are being the love warrior that you came here to be and being of fullest service to others around you. That is how this person will find you. Okay? That is where you will find them. On that path. But if you stay here, if you stay in Daughter of Cups, Five of Pentacles, because Daughter of Cups can also represent not making a choice, and Five of Pentacles, right, being crushed by or stuck with the burden of longing in this situation, this person will never get a chance to find you or see you. You guys see that? Okay. All right. So the journey continues. Keep going. Nine of Wands, Magician. We said it earlier, right? This is being manifested. This is like the universe is manifesting the situation. It's being manifested. It's in the ethers. It's very clear. Everything you could have ever wanted. Okay. But the choice now to earn that or to be ready for that is to step fully into your way of using this past experience for benefit for the world. All right? Beautiful reading. Let's take some sips of cacao and pause for a second. I'm going to read some comments from you guys. How are we doing? Some intense times and readings, huh? And let's just see where you guys are at. You're welcome on TikTok. I see some thank yous. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to be getting into the channeled astrology here in a second if you guys want to stick around. Whoa, $60. Thank you guys for the donations. I really appreciate that. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Wow, the chat is going. I think I don't know if it backs up or it skips or what, but I get a whole influx of messages all at once when I go back to the page. I'm seeing some wows pop up. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay, finally we've caught up all the way to the bottom. So there's a lot of things. The Sunpie says, well, shit, I wish I knew what I wanted. I see some people talking about my hair. His hair is fire, and Sana liked it longer. And the color of my shirt. Piano time. Oh my God. I don't have a guitar. I do not have a guitar. Ooh. LA says, today's my birthday. Not exactly what I was hoping for. Well, happy birthday, LA. And again, going on and continuing the theme, stubbornly as I am, of gifts. You may not be able to see it now, but possibly the greatest gift that we could ever hope to give is being honest and true and sharing with you exactly the real and brave, courageous truth, right? So I know it's hard, and happy birthday regardless. But I know it's going to be all for the best. Okay. Uh-oh, Lady Lux, you're in big trouble, Brandon. I don't know why I'm in big trouble. All right. I'm just going to read a couple more, and then we'll get into the astrology. You guys are hilarious. That's why I like reading. All right. Let me take some sips here. How you guys doing on TikTok? You guys good? We have some hurt hearts. Yeah, I mean, that's, just to be, that's going to be happening, right? Definitely. Like last night, I was going through some meditation and I'm like, wow, there's some deep pain. There's some deep pain in the heart. But boy, oh boy, is this going to make me stronger. So just know it's going to be there. You can take it as it goes. Take it as it comes. Michelle Pierce is asking the. She's getting the hard requests. The whiskey and the piano. Yeah, I might have to have some whiskey to play the piano in front of you guys. That might be a prerequisite to sing and play the piano. So a couple shots of whiskey. All right, let's get into the channel astrology. See what we got for the week ahead. I did have a thought too. It's funny enough you say that, Michelle. I think you were tapped in to my unconscious, but I had a thought of like wanting to play a certain song today. And I just don't feel ready for it, to be honest with you. Especially not one that's going to be recorded forever. But it is definitely coming. And Spirit is not going to let up on that one. All right. Let's look what we got. Look at what we got. So we have... As you guys on TikTok, we have the charts live here on YouTube. All right. But I'm also going to be speaking out the energies too. If you guys want to hang out on TikTok or YouTube, either one is great. Do me a favor too. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to be part of the Soul Collective here and get these continued updates, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and do me a favor, hit that like button. Helps this channel and video grow so we can guide more people. All right. So May 16th, 2021. What do we got here? So Mercury leaving the North Node. We talked about this a lot last week, but Mercury leaving now the North Node. Okay. So again, this was taking that logical understanding of the truth of what is happening on a very tangible level and making a decision of destiny because of it. All right. Now, keep in mind, everything we channel about the Two of Swords, that is a destiny-changing decision, not only for your own soul path, but for your life path, your life itself. All right. The decision that you take from this point on, this point forward, this reading forward about who you're going to be, what you're going to be, and the fact that you are choosing for sure a path, that will change the rest of your life in a big way. All right. Mercury conjunct the North Node. That you got to know that. Okay. And yes, with Venus here conjunct the North Node, this was relating to and because of, right, the element of love and relationships for sure. You can see here that Saturn here is trining as well, the North Node, as well as Venus. Okay, so really, it's here's the thing. Remember, we channeled like the fact that this has just already happened. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. Like, it just kind of happened. Right? It's like, it's not like we caused it to happen or we even wanted it to happen, but it just kind of happened, right? These changes, this death when it comes to love in a situation. That's this trine here. That's Saturn trine the North Node conjunct Venus here. Is, without having or putting much effort into it, everything just happened as it did. Now, it's from this place, you have to know, this karmic lesson, right? This destined point in your life, in the world, really, the collective, where you go from here that makes the most difference, and the path you choose. And all you have to choose, you don't have to choose, just keep it simple. All you have to choose as a reminder is whether or not you want to dedicate your life to the service of others or to the service of self. That's it. Because in a way, hanging around or kind of wishing, waiting, hoping, or being attached to any one certain energy that chose the negative path is choosing the negative path in itself, because it's being selfish, because you're not allowing your gifts and your experiences to be used for others, right? Or not choosing. Either way, not a great idea. Make sure you make that choice, in my opinion. It's not bad or good, but it's not a great idea, in my opinion. That's my judgment. Wow, we have the moon trine Neptune in Pisces at 22 degrees. 22 here. Beautiful. The moon is also trining the Earth in Scorpio. And Mars here is coming up into, or the moon actually recently passed Mars in a conjunction here in Cancer. Yeah. This is the power of being able to differentiate and see through the facade of what was keeping us from having our authoritative power in ourselves and in our life. Sovereignty over self. The moon conjunct Mars, right? What had happened there. Trine Neptune, trine Earth. We can finally see through just enough to know, all right, the truth of where we stand and to make a decision based off of that. Now, again, we still probably can't see through all of it or know all of the answers at this time. We're not meant to, but we are meant to come to a place of peace and understanding within our own selves as to the choice we needed to make to move ourselves forward in actual tangible life. One that would give us our power and sovereignty back, right? Which is a decision. So I'm hearing the power comes from your decision. The power that you seek comes from your decision. All right? That's where it comes from. That's why the first card that came out channeled was the Two of Swords, because they want you to know, again, not choosing is not choosing your power. Let me say it again. Not choosing a path is actually letting go of your power. Remember, we had the Ace of Wands underneath the Two of Swords. So when I say power, I mean actual vital motivation and energy in your own body. That's what I mean by that. Like the spark of life. Okay? Not choosing will rob you of that. So you have to choose a way. Good. We've had this Sun conjunct Lilith energy for a while now. It's been very slow. Not being afraid, right, to harness. I'm hearing the power of the dark. Again, this element of the power of the dark, all right, to be integrated within your own sovereignty as well. And what I mean by the power of the dark is actually specifically they're giving me the element of anger. The element of anger, all right? So if there are these feelings of anger in your heart, your soul, and your body that want to keep coming up, the most important element of this, and what I mean specifically by harnessing the power of the dark, because anger would be dark power, right? If you guys would agree, would be to basically allow that to express itself in your own body, in your own way that is safe, but not succumbing to it. There's a difference between succumbing to the dark. Okay, we've had this conversation last week, succumbing to the elements of the temptations or the lower energies of the dark, and recognizing it and feeling it. So it's very natural as a human, right, to want to experience and to have the experience of deep anger and bitterness and resentment towards how a situation ended up, towards other people or how another person or anything like that for their actions or actions that have been taken generally. That's normal. And as you allow your body to feel all of that fully, okay, it helps to release that which is stored inside of you, which then allows you to fill more of that space where the anger was with the energy of light power, consciousness, soul power. Okay? This is what they're channeling this in a way that's you're integrating this. That's how you integrate it. Okay, we talk about integrating darkness, integrating power. It's because you're giving that dark energy power, or I'm sorry, not power, giving it space. By giving it space, it releases. By allowing it to release, it can be replaced with more authentic energy, which is, again, light and love. But you can't just bypass it. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. You can't just say, all right, I'm all light and love all the time. I don't experience anger. The anger that's there, it's not real, right? It is very real. Okay? It's very real, as you guys probably know. So that's part of the experience here. So don't hesitate from feeling it, but then don't succumb to it. Don't let it take you farther than it needs to take you. You guys see that? All right. And that would happen by holding on to it. So don't hold on to it. All right, let's move on. So May 17th here, what's going on? One thing that comes to mind generally, I just want to share real quick. We've had Juno here, and it's traveling away, I believe. Oh, it's in retrograde. Oh, boy. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, wow. I don't know how long. I just noticed this. That's pretty crazy. So, and then I thought, okay. I'm pretty sure Mercury's going into a retrograde at some point soon here. I think Chris, one of my amazing feng shui gentlemen, alerted me to this. But we also have Juno and the South Node in retrograde. I didn't even know this. This is pretty crazy. Because I was going to say Juno is traveling away from the South Node, but Juno and the South Node are in retrograde. So this is and it's still square Neptune. So again, if you're wondering why there is the elements of not being able to fully understand what is happening and why it's happening, and the confusion and or illusion of the situation, this is precisely why. Now, the other thing that I'm hearing too about this is you're going to be getting, throughout this period of time, however long Juno and the South Node are in retrograde, you're going to be getting continued levels of truth and clarity on a deeper level, on a soul level, as to why this is occurring. One of the elements that kept trying to come through during the reading was slow progress of understanding of why this is happening and why it needed to happen in this lifetime. Okay. So thank you for, someone on TikTok said May 29th to June 22nd. Thank you so much. So this will be going on until June 22nd. So this is going to be a longer journey. And throughout this journey of closing this chapter, there's going to be continued elements of understanding why it needed to happen. And I'm getting, this could come through like understanding of past lives, understanding of soul contracts or intentions, or just realizations and downloads about the truth of this situation and why it needed to spark all of this that happened in your life. There is a very big purpose to this. So we're in the process of slowly starting to understand and integrate as we separate the truth of it. Okay? So this just wanted to throw that in there, and I just didn't see that until now. But yeah, Juno retrograde with the South Node. Now, again, the other thing to stress that I was going to originally say was that Juno being with the South Node generally, all right, Juno being with the South Node generally, these are specifically related to people and elements and lessons from our past and potentially our past lives. South Node representative literally of past lives collectively, okay? Lessons and elements and integration of themes coming from our past selves, okay? And we also have South Node here trining Chiron in Aries. So it would denote that specifically at this time in particular, people, elements, stories, and events that have occurred in the area of love, particularly with the twin flame connection, which is Juno here for me, happen solely for the purpose of allowing us to take our power back. Chiron and Aries, and to become empowered and free in our own selves. So you have to know one of the greater elements of this whole thing, again, speaking about love, okay, was specifically for that intention. And I do believe, if I'll just say it right here and right now, that was probably the major, if not the only intention of this whole saga that's been occurring, right? It doesn't and never did necessarily mean that we were meant to end in a tangible relationship with this person. All it meant was that we were meant to engage in the connection of true love, right, in order to learn this specific lesson. You guys see that? Now, whether that evolves from here into something new and different, which I'm not really feeling, but that is part of the unknown of this whole situation. But at this particular time, it will not and does not serve us to be involved in that story. Okay? For whatever reason, I'm getting that. I'm getting like it's not serving us as a collective to be involved or to, again, try and figure out or understand where that story goes from here. Because again, all we need to know is that this was, at this chapter, the most important thing that we could take from this and learn from it and let go of the rest. Okay? All right. The karmic lesson, essentially. Karmic lesson. All right. We also have the moon on the 16th here, which is today. The moon making an opposition to Pluto in Capricorn with Cancer here. There's a little bit of a stark contrast here between what I'm getting is like doing what's necessary or doing something that you feel genuinely inspired to do, and coming from a place of service and or heart. That's what I'm getting. Pluto in Capricorn is kind of like, what is best for me to do? What is right for me to do? Yeah. What would be most desirous of me to do for me to be of service? But then the contrast of that being with Moon in Cancer, how do I take all of that and be with as much of an open heart as I possibly can be in. Like, where do those two match up? Like, so you might be looking in your own life and going, well, how do I stay in my own heart, like stay in service to others or caring about others or in this nurturing space, but also do the things that I actually desire to do in more of maybe even a selfish way that light me up on a soul level. Even also this contrast between what is responsible for me to do in a way that would result in progression or movement forward or progress in your life versus coming from a place of full authenticity or the heart. And the challenge here, and this is an important aspect here, I think, going on with all of our own lives, because there's a balance between the two. There's a balance of doing something that is going to result in more of a progression that's more responsible and or that will actually work or make progress versus being totally from the heart. Okay? There's a little bit of I don't know if you guys can feel this. There's a friction between those two energies right now. And it's like, well, on the one end, it's like, shouldn't I just be fully, completely openly me and do exactly everything that my heart wants me to do at all the times? And the other end, it's kind of like, but how do I do that in a responsible, progressive way that actually makes a difference or makes progress? And I'm talking, this could be, you can relate to this to like your work or your way of life or just things that you're going through. And, and that's a tough one. And I'm going through this too, for sure. And I would say there's definitely a balance there, right? One example I can put to this, if you guys are wondering, is like I've been really struggling with this when it comes to my YouTube stuff. Because on the one hand, if I was just being completely, totally, 100% what I wanted to do, from my heart, it would probably be like, I don't know, more talking about astrology and or spirituality stuff. And yet on a tangible level, in order to make progress and move forward, right, for my audience and the collective, like, you guys love Zodiac readings. Zodiac readings have tended to be the greatest hit, right, and the greatest bringer in of new subscribers to the family. So there's that dichotomy, right? And it's like, well, how do you find a balance between those two things? Something that, because if I just stayed where I'm at, right, then I wouldn't be able to serve as many people. So that kind of friction in your own life. And I would just say, find a place of balance where you can reasonably do both of those things at the same time, without losing yourself in either one spectrum, because either one spectrum isn't going to be progressive. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense. I'm not sure if it is. All right. Let's continue on. All right, May 17th, Jupiter here, square Lilith and the Sun, and also just squaring Earth over here, Moon and Leo squaring Ceres. May 17th may not be so fun. Wait a minute. Okay, interesting. Jupiter just entered Pisces, by the way. Oh, wow. All right, so let me back up for a second. I didn't notice this last time. On the 13th, going into the 14th of May. So on the 14th, Jupiter officially entered Pisces, which is pretty awesome. Okay. And this is really that term gifts, right? That term gifts keeps coming up in this reading. And that's what Jupiter would like to deliver to all of us at this moment in time and what we've received. So you have to know, again, it's another confirmation that whatever has ended from Jupiter going from 29 into 0 degrees Pisces, okay, whatever happened through that time is actually in its own way the greatest gift of your life and has many, many, many spiritually powerful gifts for you to harness from it. And the other thing is, the more that you embrace your connection to oneness, to God, to spirituality, to your spiritual power, the more gifts are available to you. That's the essence of Jupiter in Pisces, right? Is, again, Jupiter bringing love, prosperity, abundance, you embracing more of seeing through the veil, spirituality, and understanding, right? And your own gifts when it comes to intuition. That is the essence of what will bring you, right, the most abundance at for this next whole period of time. All right. So that's really good. Now on the 17th, right, and possibly before that, but I'm seeing it now, making a square here, and we'll continue to be making a square for the rest of the week to the Sun in Taurus, conjunct Lilith. So it's this dichotomy of this friction between, again, the anger, the bitterness, or the feelings of the humanness of us that come up, okay, versus integrating the gifts. Now, this might come up as a frustration. Some of you guys might even be feeling this now. It's like, well, Brandon, how can you talk about the gifts of what has happened when I'm feeling inside so sad and so angry and so upset and so confused? Like, Brandon, I don't see any gifts, like I'm feeling these things. Like, you can't tell me there's gifts in this when I'm feeling that the truth is this. And my answer to you is both are equally as true. And there's friction between those two things. So on the one hand, right, as you allow yourself to feel all those feelings, Sun conjunct Lilith in your body of anger, bitterness, resentment, and darkness generally, okay, and you release those feelings, you give a chance for the gift of what Jupiter has to offer on a more intuitive level to enter your soul, okay? So I'm seeing Jupiter want to deliver all this, okay, through understanding. Also, if those of you guys who do want to understand more, right, of this, okay, as you clear out or as you release or as you feel all of the human feelings of anger, bitterness, sorrow, resentment, all those things, Five of Pentacles energy, the more space you clear out, the more wisdom Jupiter will deliver. Okay, they're really hitting on Jupiter here. Like, Jupiter wants to deliver you clarity and wisdom and perspective and answers. Okay, so but you have to do that hard work first. So just know throughout this week that's going to be a recurring theme for you. So don't avoid it, I would say, if you can. All right. What else do we got? Man, they're really being very detailed today. Moon and Leo, they want me to stop on every day. Moon and Leo sextile Venus and the North Node conjunct. Oh, that's probably why. So, okay. Between the 17th and 18th, we have Venus passing over the North Node, okay, of this month. With the Moon and Leo sextile Venus and the North Node, trining Juno. All right. So on the 18th, in whatever way this happens, the first word that comes is like to pass or to bypass, and bypass in a more positive connotation, right? Not in the way of like spiritually bypassing, but bypassing as in like bypassing or getting past this element of sorrow and pain and depression when it comes to what has occurred in love. Okay. And this will occur through Moon and Leo being seen and respected and recognized for what you are and what you're presenting. So with the Moon and Leo, you being recognized and seen for everything that you are, okay, whatever that is, in whatever way you are doing that or receiving that in your own life, for whatever reason, that element of beingness will really help you to fully it's not even a full bypass, but it's like a significant bypass to really releasing any of these lingering feelings. Does that make sense? And it's like they're showing me like a major, like they're showing, like in surgery, they're showing like they're carving out, like it's carving out all of this gunk, all of this lingering energy. There's carving it out. There's still more, it's still deeper, like carve it out. And for whatever reason here on the 18th, you getting an opportunity to shine in this way helps the process along. Sextile here is like it's an opportunity to continue to dig all that gunk out in a very beneficial way, in a progressive way. Okay, so you will definitely have an opportunity. Now, interestingly, we have Juno trine the moon here with Leo. So as much as I would prefer to not even talk about it, this is that element of observational energy, right? Remember, we kept getting that energy of someone observing you, someone watching, someone, blah, blah, blah. That's this. That's Juno trine the moon in Leo sextile, right? So there's almost this opportunity for you to be, again, seen and recognized by someone very significant in your life in a way that is of respect, that helps to validate, I would say, who and what you are and what you're showing up as in the world. So, not sure how that's going to take place. You guys email me each week and share your amazing stories, and I love reading your stories because, I can channel it, but I don't know what specifically how this is going to show up, but it shows up in the most amazing ways every week and in ways that I couldn't even imagine in you guys' lives. So, we shall see. But again, it's nothing to, and I don't think we're here, but it's nothing to kind of, it's like, you're not doing it for that. You're not doing it so that you can gain someone else's respect or validation, right? It's like you're doing it authentically because you want to do it. You're ready to do it. You chose that path. And ironically, once you choose that path, it's like then what you maybe sought or desired before in terms of respect or validation comes your way. All right. So there it is. Moving on. So May 19th. Got to remember it's my best friend's birthday this day. May 19th. Oh, wow. Beautiful. So moon comes into Virgo and is making a trine to Ceres here. The moon is big time. A square to the earth and a square to the sun. And kind of Lilith, but not really. Actually, a little far away from Lilith. And in opposition to Jupiter. Oh, wow. An exact opposition to Jupiter. 0, 0. Okay. So there's the fresh start energy, right? We talked about 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0 being a fresh place of creation, right? Really the element of where do we go from here? What do we choose to do or to be? Remember, the channel tarot reading, I was thinking the energies are here today, but these are also energies you're going to feel even more strongly and be reminded of throughout the week. So as you watch today's tarot reading, just know that those are going to show themselves even more tangibly as the week progresses, right? That's why they kind of confirm what this tarot was saying in the astrology. But here's the fresh start energy of moon's at 0 in Virgo, Jupiter's at 0 in Pisces. Whole new perspective, whole new way of being, a whole new present way of being because of the validation that may have arrived from you choosing your path of being of service and really seeing and hearing and believing in a whole new path for yourself, a fresh start. Okay. Significant, very significant way. Okay. And yes, this may be in stark contrast or opposing, right, the energy of a twin flame here in your chart here, because Juno here is in stark opposition to Mercury conjunct Venus and the North Node. So there is wholeheartedly a direction away from or an opposition to the energy of being with a twin flame or a soul connection from your past, with Juno being conjunct or 9 degrees away from the South Node here. So it's continued little validations, confirmations of even though it's crazy and weird and doesn't make sense and, blah, blah, blah. It's like, nope, the direction's this way. Away from Juno, right? There's because the North Node's there, right? So the North Node's like always where we want to go to. It's where we want to point ourselves to in the direction to, right? It's not the South Node. South Node contains lessons and rememberings of what we needed to know to move forward, but we always want to then orient ourselves towards the North Node in astrology. And so that's obviously, right, away from Juno at this point. So, all right, let's continue on. So May 20th here. And yeah, it's not even going to be like a choice. Like it's just an acceptance of what is, of where your soul wants to go. That's really the only thing here. It's an acceptance of that. What are we going to go to, by the way? We're going to go till, what's today? Today's May 16th. We'll go to May 23rd. I think that's the day. Yeah. Yeah, May 23rd. All right, so this, oh boy. Okay, good. So from May 19th to May 20th, now we have the sun. Talk about fresh starts, by the way. You guys see this? We have the sun entering Gemini at 0 degrees. So now we have Jupiter and the sun at 0 degrees. Jupiter 0 degrees Pisces, the sun at 0 degrees Gemini. We just had the moon at 0 degrees Virgo opposing Jupiter. Okay. So there's that third 0. But total new beginning here. Total new beginning here. And Chiron sextile Venus in the North Node, right? An opportunity to integrate the pain from our past, the lessons from our past, again, to help us move forward. It is specifically the understanding of, so you might take some time here, right? The opportunity would be here to take some of, oh, this is it. This is what we channeled. So we channeled, remember in the beginning or sometime, we channeled, recording yourself or writing out the story or just getting this out. This is that element here. So around May 20th, you might want to take this opportunity, if not before here, to just bring out the positives of what has happened to you, for you, in love specifically, because we have, again, Chiron is still trining the South Node here, and at one point in the past this week was trining Juno. Was it? It doesn't matter. In order to gain a logical integration or understanding of what has occurred to help you to move forward. So around this day, would highly recommend doing that. And you might even, have the opportunity presented to you to, speak about this, write about it, present it, record it. This inclination might come to you. But just know that if it does, it's a very positive opportunity to, again, assist in you integrating all that has happened so that you can have clarity moving forward and help assist you in your new journey, your new beginning. 000. Remember, 000s is the opportunity for infinite creation, infinite possibilities. Stepping from I am, the place of I am, into the new I am. Yeah? So knowing that you have the power at any given moment in your existence, okay? Especially after finishing up karmic lessons to create and move from that place of I am, okay? Where you are totally unattached to the version of who you were and what you were and the version of yourself from the past into what you are and what you're creating now. That is the essence of 000, the magician energy. All right? So you will have this kind of infinitely possible place from where you can step to and create from your spot here on May 20th. And all the time generally. But again, it's kind of hard to do that when you're in the midst of going through a destined karmic lesson. Because at some point we're kind of unconsciously drawn into it because we have to do it. But here's the place. All right, from freedom to our freedom. All right, so, okay, May 21st here. Moon in Virgo, finishing up its time in Virgo. Trining the sun and Lilith, and sextiling the earth. I don't want to hit on too much of what I'd already spoken about here, but Moon in Virgo again, trine Lilith, conjunct the sun. It's not even really conjunct. It's 8 degrees away, but loosely conjunct the sun. The words that come to me, it's almost like letting go of the pain now. Letting go of the pain now, right? Like you will, after experiencing the pain, after experiencing the anger, the resentment, like the human emotions, you will now have a chance to move past them, okay? And to let them go for good. So if you guys are wondering, how long this is going to last, how intense it's going to be, and I'm not saying that they'll never come up again, but on the 21st, it appears there's an opportunity, really good opportunity that will happen. Not even an opportunity, it's going to happen here with the trine, okay? That will allow you to then move past those elements after you've experienced them, okay? So whereas earlier in this week, we were talking about, yes, going through them, experiencing them, integrating them, releasing them, things like that. What I'm feeling here is on the 21st, it's going to be now at the place where it's, okay, we've done that. We can release this. We can move past it, really. It's the words that come. Okay, on to the next. We have begun the journey. Sun's at 1 degrees Gemini. We've begun the journey, and we can finally let the past emotions behind us. Okay? All right, May 22nd, 2021. Let's see what the great May 22nd has. Our journeys. Okay. So, good. Well, the first thing that came to me here, and we've already talked about this, but then it's almost like the alignments evolve as time goes on. So as with the channeling with the tarot, sometimes there's multiple definitions that come with the same cards at different times in the reading. This just happened too with Saturn in Aquarius trine, okay, Venus here. And the first words that came to me is now taking what has happened that has been fully integrated while being fully unattached to it. So remember, the last day it was about, okay, we've now moved past that finally, right? We are now unattached to this past thing that happened. The next step from there is now that you're free of that, of experiencing that, now you can teach from that place, right? Because to be the best of teachers, right, you can't still be attached to, right, the human experience of it. And that's really honestly why I do as best of a job as I can, in a limited respect, to separate my human experience and my personal emotions from the objective reading, because I don't want to taint or influence how I feel into the reading itself. And, sometimes it'll leak a little bit, as you guys can probably feel, but I think I do a pretty good job of keeping the two separate. Yeah. This is why, right, this alignment's occurring, is because now you can finally take what has been and you can start to embody what you are to help others from a place of it was, not from a place of it is emotionally. Does that make sense? So you can't help others emotionally if you are still in the same place as them. You guys see that? Or if you're not coming from a place different from where they're at. You can't teach others. This is really the element of a teacher. For whatever reason, I'm getting that element. Probably because Gemini. So now I would start to look at and start to feel into what are the most effective measures or ways that I can utilize this now fully integrated and detached knowledge through experience that I've now cleansed my energy of, that I can then be of greatest teaching or service to others. Okay. I.e., how can you share the wisdom of what you've gained through your experiences to others because you've already experienced it and you're not still in it? Okay. The other thing that's coming to me now that's really interesting that I've never heard before, but we've heard generally, but that's coming to me now is like, it's gonna be starting to be time now that we've gone through this experience, to guide others in the areas of love. Like we always knew this was coming, but now it's finally capable of occurring for this collective, of really stepping out and being able to share our wisdom from this experience that has happened with other people who will be going through similar things, similar lessons. You guys always have to remember this collective. Remember, we channeled this in the very beginning. The True Love Warrior Collective, we were meant to do this first. We were meant to do this first. Doesn't mean that, like now there's going to be other people who are then going through similar types of experiences who we can then help because we've already gone through it. Does that make sense? So that's going to be happening now. Like they're saying that this is officially going to start to happen. You're going to start to officially be called to share your wisdom from your experience because now it's in the past, okay? In a positive way. So just know that that's going to be occurring. And as you feel called to share more and more of the wisdom specifically of your lessons, that's going to draw and alert more people to you, as long as you're coming from a place of genuine service for others. Okay? So now we're really getting into the meat and bones of why this collective even came together. We're really getting to the meat and bones of that. Why we had to go through all the stuff we went through. Now it's because of this. Now we're actually starting to be doing this work here. But again, we had to be finished. We had to be finished completely with what it was. You guys see that? We had to be completely detached. And we're still detaching, but we had to be completely detached before we could fully be of service for others. All right, last day here. We have May 23rd, of course. Next Sunday, the moon in Libra. Trine Mercury, trine Jupiter. Beautiful, beautiful alignments. Look at this. This is you want to talk about element of a teacher? An esoteric teacher of love and relationships? This is right here. Okay, moon in Libra. Trine Jupiter in Pisces, and also trine Mercury in Gemini. That's a darn teacher if I can spot one out. In relationships and love. Okay. So on this day, in what way, I want you guys to think about this. On this particular day, they're saying to give you guys an assignment. All right? They're specifically saying, we want you guys to, on this day, find some way of helping other people in the way that you are capable of doing so with your gifts and with your experience because of everything you've been through up to this point. All right? This is the assignment. They're literally saying give them this assignment specifically on this day, which is Sunday, by the way, which is Sunday. Which is kind of crazy because this has always been where the day that this live stream has happened. And if you guys have to do your own live stream and you guys have to go and not be a part of this one, I'm like, totally go do it. Like, I don't care if you're on this, maybe you don't need to be on here anymore. I don't know. This is Sunday. This is May 23rd. Okay. And if you do something and you decide to be on this live stream, I would love to hear what you did to be of service. But they're saying do one thing, whether it's a post, whether it's calling a friend and helping them out, or just doing something proactive to share your wisdom with the world. Okay, service to others, on your service to others path. Try to find out what that's going to be this week. And then put it into action on Sunday, on the 23rd, and see where it goes. Okay? All right. I mean, that's it. That's it. It's a very, I mean, it's, you know, it's as surprising to me as it is to you guys that they actually said that, but they're like, now it's time to put into action. All right. So again, if you guys got to not be part of this live stream next week, I totally understand. You guys are doing your work. All right. 111 concurrent viewers. Amazing. All right. So I am getting caught up on the chat here. And it's catching me up. It's just like doing a speed run of all the messages that have occurred since I last checked. So it looks like we had some not so good energy. I'm guessing Sana took care of that, but I'll have to check in later on the YouTube chat. So anyways, let's see what's been going on. Concetta says, I think we could be successful, but maybe we just haven't found the proper balance, and that's okay. We all have faults. Just because we're not union doesn't mean we don't have knowledge. Can we peak at the 26th? That's my birthday. No, we cannot. But next week, we will look at the 26th. Monique says, blushing. Concetta says, damn. Kirsten says, do those cheeks ache after that last bit? Mine as well. Michelle, I'm not playing piano on this YouTube video. There's no way. There is no way. I see you're going to be persistent with this one, huh? I see Michelle's going to be persistent with this one. Not yet. It's not ready yet. All right, let's see. So what are we going to do? So let's how long we've gone? We've gone almost 2.5 hours. So we're definitely going to be closing out here in a second. I will answer a few questions if we have questions here. Sana, I totally didn't ask you to do this, so if you don't have any, don't worry about it. But if you do happen to have, if anyone has any questions that they want to ask about their part of the journey. Wow, Amy, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you so much. Wow, I really appreciate that. You just donated $60. Thank you. Robert, thank you. So if you guys have a few questions about, not about personal situations, but if you have questions about anything I channeled, anything we talked about, anything that you're confused about still, or anything I can clarify from this reading, or generally, about the universe, I will take a few questions today. I'm not going to do too many because we've already gone 2.5 hours. There's a longer channeling today, but I will take a few. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to start answering questions from whatever comes from here in the chat. All right. And Sana, if you have any in particular that you were like, we got to answer that one, feel free to post that as well. Okay. But I'm just going to take random ones from the crowd here. So Monique says, can water be meek? Yes, it can be meek. That's the lower side of the element of water, right? Meek as in not knowing its own worthiness. Meek as in not knowing its own power. Okay. Water is the most powerful element on the face of the planet. Water is the most powerful element on the face of this planet. More than fire, more than earth, and more than air. Okay. There's nothing that water cannot completely annihilate and break down and destroy and cause havoc with. Okay. So the only meekness when it comes to water, the element of water, is not realizing just how incredibly potent it is in its own beingness. All right. Now, the real strength of water is knowing this and choosing, regardless, to be of compassion and love. Okay. That is the real strength. It's like, you can get swallowed up by the waterfall if we really chose to, but we're going to choose to use it in a loving and peaceful way. All right. So it's understanding the depth that water holds in its potency and in its power, versus that like unempowered, disempowered water, meek water, the element of water, would be choosing to stay in a place of, I would say, dedication of force or energy without any concern of or knowledge of or awareness of its own powerfulness, if that makes sense. Okay. It's almost just like this inner knowing of like, not like being untouchable in terms of being able to be affected or taken down from any other element or intimidated by. That's the word, intimidated by. You know what I mean? It's like if fire tried to possibly threaten water, like if fire tried to intimidate water and be like, water, I can burn you up, water, I can evaporate you, I can cause you to just shrivel up, and water's just like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? But if water actually believed that, that's the meek. If there's meekness to water, that would be it. If water actually believed it because of confusion or lack of awareness of its own power, to be intimidated by the other elements. Same thing with earth or air. Okay. All right. Wow, Robert, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions here? I'm just going to start reading some questions and because you want to. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I don't want to I don't want to break down in the middle of my playing. Latifa, you're welcome. Okay, Ines says, your reading today reflects the current energy, right? It could be completely different next week. Yes. Now, here's a very good question, Ines, and thank you, Sana. She says, your reading today reflects the current energy, right? It could be completely different next week. All right, here's the deal with that. It's a very important question. As always, yes, 100%, and no. And here's what I mean by that. Okay. To be involved in this collective energy in the most efficient of ways, all right, in the most powerful of ways, is to take what we're being given and what's being channeled from source as the only truth that is real in this moment, if it resonates with you. Let me say that again. The only and the best way to operate in the highest possible way is to take what is being channeled, if it resonates with you, if it feels right for you, by the way, right? Not saying to just believe everything I say, but I'm saying if what is channeled today, as objectively as possible from the divine, that is resonating with you, that feels right, it's to take that and to go, that is the truth. That is the only truth right now. And that is the only truth that I need to concern myself with in this particular moment. which is very, very different from, and it's a dangerous game to play, which is why I say it, because I now, but maybe in a few days when I redraw these tarot cards, it's going to say something completely different, right? And all of a sudden, this is going to happen, and the thing that you are desperately desiring or in pain about that you want to happen, it's kind of that, it gives you that string of hope. You guys see that? It gives you that string of like, well, maybe just if I wait a little bit longer, things will change. And I would say to you, how long have we been in that disempowered place as a collective? How long have you been in that disempowered place? Speaking with love, okay? Speaking from personal experience of, if I just wait around a little bit longer, something may change. It's a difficult truth. It's a difficult reality to face. Okay? But it's the truth that they want us to know right now. Of like, there is no more waiting. There's no more waiting. If you are in a place where you are hoping that maybe next week things will change and that next week the channeling is going to be, oh, just kidding, guys. Twin flames ready to rock and roll. Come into union. And I would always be honest with you guys. Always. If I felt that there were a chance of that, I would say it. If I felt in my soul, and from what's being channeled, that there were a chance of that happening, I would say it. But what I'm feeling in this very particular moment, that Spirit wants us to know for our highest good on our soul's progression, is to take the gifts of what has occurred through this experience and to move onward and upward. And to leave it behind. I mean, we saw the 10 of Swords in the middle of the spread. And you saw that card. I can bring it out again if we need to. Being completely dead. The 10 of Swords is dead. Okay. Now, unless there's the energy of resurrection. Speaking about resurrection in Jesus Christ, unless that energy enters into the situation. But it's not something we can put our hope and faith into. You know what I mean? Nor would it serve us to do so. Okay. All right, good question. So again, the answer yes and no. So yes as in, if it resonates with you, my advice would be to take this as the truth for what Spirit wants us to know right now and live by that truth. Live as if this is the truth. If it resonates with you, live as if this is the truth and act from that place. If it does resonate with you. Again, never saying to believe everything I say if it doesn't resonate with you. And if next week, I don't know what's going to happen, right? But I do know that it's going to be nothing but a continued progression of empowerment for what we need to know and be in. The interesting thing about this whole thing, and I think why I'm spending so much time on it is, from the very beginning of this channel, we got all of the most amazing, like, hey, love is on its way. Your twin flame's gonna transform and change, and then you guys are gonna be in union, and it kept reminding us of these things. And then it wasn't. And it's confusing. It's like, how can Source and Spirit in our journey take us through all of this stuff, all of this hope in a situation, all of this faith in a situation, all of this confirmation of a situation, and then have it change? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just a reader. And I know that it's confusing because I'm confused too. But all we can do is go from this place where we are now, from 0, 0, 0, and create from that place. And not worry too much about why. Because there was absolutely 100% a purpose in those moments when we were channeled. We were getting the messages and confirmation and channelings that this was going to come together and this was going to change and we just needed to wait a little longer and blah, blah, blah. There was a reason for that. There was a reason for that. There was a reason of empowerment. We needed to experience that and to allow ourselves to go that deeply within the love that we felt. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's my answer for that. Good question. Really, really good question. And I really appreciate that, Ines and Sana, for you guys posting that. All right. And again, thank you, Robert, for the donation. I appreciate you. Krista Marie says, wow, May 20th will be the day that you, Brandon, will be getting that email from me. I can't tell you how long this is going to go, but we will find out. Awesome. I look forward to that email, Krista Marie. I really do. All right. Sana says, Jennifer Nicole, why hasn't my DM come forward yet and reached out to me in the 3D world and only communicate with me telepathically? Mm-hmm. So, Jennifer, really good question. And I would say it's the essence. It's the essence of what has left us all in the most amounts of confusion and questioning. And this is an element of, remember we channeled the smoky mirror, and obviously those squares with Neptune and the fog, right? We were seeing the fog of trying to, okay, get this out of the way, and maybe it's over here, and maybe, find that out. And, these are the questions that are a result of that place of searching and confusion, where the mind wants to go of like, and remember we specifically channeled, you're not going to know why on a surface level. This is a surface level, right? Why hasn't on a real tangible surface level question, right, my DM come forward? Why is it only on a soul level? And I'm here to tell you, the faster you can release that questioning, the faster you can release being caught in the confusion of wondering why and trying to figure it out, is the faster you will find peace. I know it's not what you want to hear. I know you want me to give you a tangible answer as to, oh, the DM is finding his way and progressing, and it'll be a few months, and it's not meant to make sense. There's not meant to be an answer for this right now, for the feminine. Okay? It's meant to be putting you in a place where you can find peace within not knowing and pulling back your energy into your own soul. You guys see that? Because this is going to be happening. This confusion, this searching through the illusion of the fog goes, I know there's got to be a reason why he hasn't come forward yet. I know there's got to be a reason. Maybe he's just not ready. Maybe there's other circumstances in his life. Maybe there's other things that are keeping him from coming from me. I have to know why. No, you don't. But what you can know, and you're not going to know, just trust me on that one. But what you can know, at least right now, are the gifts that you've been given because of the fact that he has not come forward. Okay? There's a gift in why, if you look at it from this perspective, there's a gift in why he hasn't come forward that was given to you by him not coming forward. And I want you to find that gift. And you can even ask him telepathically if you want to do that. I don't know how strong your telepathic connection is or that thing, but ask him why and see what he says on a soul level, not on a human level, on a soul level. Okay. Good question. All right. All right, I'm going to take a couple more here. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Ted Stafford. Oh, that wasn't a question. Sorry. You're welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for responding. Thanks for responding. And look, I get it. I just want to say I get it. Okay. I'm not saying this from a place of not understanding how you're feeling, because I feel that energy. A lot of us are feeling that energy. But that's the best thing we can do. Okay. All right. Jelaine says, let me see if I missed anything from, okay, good. Oh, there's another one from Sana. Okay. I'll answer your question in a second, Jelaine. Second question. Rachel Owens, I want to choose service to others and level up, but how do I actually do that? Yes. All right. This question lights me up. I love it. All right. Good. So here's what you do. So, Two of Swords. What are the choices? Path of service to self or negative polarity. All right. Think of like when you choose. I got to explain something real quick. So when you think of negative polarity and service to self, what does this look like? What does this actually look like? What is the furthest, most evolved form of negatively polarizing actions or service to self? What does that look like embodied? Okay. What it looks like is someone who is able to utilize their own intelligence and or power and or influence to rob others of their energy and to conquer them in that way. To conquer others in terms of manipulating or tricking them, really, it was what it is, into donating or giving their energy to you. So think of the elite level politicians. Think of the, I'm just going to say it because I was part of network marketing. The top level network marketers who are able to come out and to share with the most charismatic. They're good looking. Okay, good with their words. All right. Think of me as someone who, let's just say that that I do these things, and then at the end I'm like, okay, but I give you a little bit, of like genuine wisdom, but then afterwards I'm like, but you know what, guys, I can't really keep going on until all of you donate at least $20 to me. You know what I mean? Because I just need that in order to survive. And, oh, by the way, if you don't get this program that I've created that I'm selling for $500, you're going to basically not know what to do in life. You're going to be helpless. So you need this program from me in order to survive and to prosper. It's just, you're not going to know any other way. I alone have the truth for you that you're going to need to survive. By the way, I'm channeling negatively polarizing energy. This is not me. But if I were to use my gifts of speech and power and influence for my own self-service alone, specifically for that purpose of self-service, like everything I say has the goal of manipulating all of you to give me your energy and resources for my own self-gratification, that is the negative path. Okay? Now, you guys have probably dealt with people or know people like this. And it really is a choice. Because if I really wanted to, if I really was dedicated to that path, I could master the art of manipulation, persuasion, NLP and do my best to attempt to use this platform for service to self, which would polarize me in the negative way. Okay? So that's the path to self. That's where it leads. And it has its own power, okay, of influence. And Ra actually says in the Law of One that, you know, you can still gain like the power of influence and consciousness on the negative path. And that's why these negative entities, or even where it progresses onto a 4 or 5D level, demonic entities, that's what they are. They're souls who have chosen to go all the way down that path, and they basically live off of others' energy, taking others' energy. Does that make sense? So I wanted to explain that first so you knew the dichotomy of the positive path, okay? So that's the negative path, which is a very difficult path, by the way, because it's just, who can live like that? You know, who can live by just feeding off of others' energy all the time? Like, I don't know how they do it. Respect to them. There's that. Then there's the path of not choosing, which is like, I'm not really going to do that, but I'm not really going to do path of service either. And I don't really want to choose or be dedicated to any path, so I'm just going to sit here. And that's how you that's how you end up doing two things. That's how you end up just kind of not evolving at all and continue to keep incarnating here on Earth in the 3D to just repeat that lesson and eventually be forced to choose. All right? And by the way, you're not getting any sort of power or ability to influence or impact because you're not choosing a path. You can only polarize or become more of a powerful circuit of energy if you choose a path. If you just sit here in the middle, you're not gaining anything. You're just neutral, right? Neutrality isn't it is what it is, but it's not powerful. Now, if you choose the positive path, service to others, okay? Here's the weird thing about it is that everything that you do, every action you take, you have in mind, how can I formulate my priorities and my actions in a way that prioritizes service to other people in my vicinity or within my reach of influence over anything else, which is a scary leap of faith, by the way. Yeah? It's a scary leap of faith. This is the only hesitancy of choosing the path of service. It's because people are afraid, myself included, of going, oh, but if I totally dedicate my life and my actions to others and path and service to others, what about me? Am I just going to like waste away? You know, am I just going to live a life of like, you know, being a monk and not having anything for myself? And the answer couldn't be further from that. Because the law of universe is such that as you have faith in giving to others and serving or providing for others as the number one priority that oversees all of your actions and directions in your life, and I want you guys to feel into that energy, feel into the energy of what that would mean for your life. How would that change your life if you were to switch the paradigm into, all right, now I'm going to live my life in service to others? What would that mean? What are the consequences of how your life would need to change in order to fulfill that commitment? Right? Even as I feel into that, I would go, whoa, that's a totally different energy. That's a totally different come from where I was originally. Right? Because if I truly am committed to being of the most possible service and impact for others, well, I better stop staying up till 2 a.m. on Saturdays. Right? I better stop eating and engaging in the habits and involving myself with other people who are going to take away from my ability to be of utmost service to others. You guys see that? It's like the energy of needing or wanting to be of service to others pulls you away from anything in your life that would take away from that. Because you become so in tune with that. You become so engaged with that you just want it to keep increasing and growing and growing and growing. And sooner or later, it becomes like, I don't want to do or be who I was because it's just not conducive with me being able to serve others. Do you guys see that? Just as someone on the negative path would go, man, I just don't want to do that action because it's not giving me enough. It's too much service to others, so I'm not going to do that action. It's the same thing with the positive path. It's like, man, I know I used to, love staying up late on Saturdays or drinking or having bad food or whatever it is, right? Whatever your bad habits are. But if I really want to be able to serve people on Sundays, like this live stream or just generally, right? I can't. It's not conducive to that. And that right there will make it clear and help with the progression from this twin flame situation, by the way. Because if we're truly in that energy, now we are clear that any involvement with that energy is completely unconducive to service. See that? And it goes in with, there's a metaphor that came to me on, it was in the astrology, where was it? It was I think it was either the astrology live stream or some other live stream, but the metaphor that they showed me was basically, it was in the Daily Channel horoscope message. They said, you have $5 to $10 a day that you can give, right? Let's just say that's vital energy or resources. Now, if you choose to, in the example, it was like a homeless person who lived by you, that you walked by every day, that you just are aware of the fact that that person has chosen a path of self-degradation, self-destruction, addiction, whatever it is, right? You know this for a fact. You've seen them engage with it. You have seen them for 10 years. They haven't changed. They ask you for $5 to $10 every single day, right? You can either donate your vital energy and resources to that energy, knowing that it's going to be only utilized for that purpose of continued destruction, or you can choose to donate that $5 to $10 into, an amazing charity or a Roth IRA that's going to progress to give you a platform to impact others. Like, it's just a question of where and how you want to donate your time and energy and where that investment's going to lead to. Because the argument might be, well, but, this person might die if I don't give them another $5. So aren't I responsible for doing that? Or this person, they could just really use some help and I would make their life more comfortable if I gave them this $5. And it's like, but imagine where that energy could go conversely, and how much more of benefit could it be? And once you know that $5 to $10 could be invested and utilized for such a greater impact and purpose, there's no way in hell you'd want to continue to give that limited resource of time or energy to that original source. Does that make sense? Okay. I think you really want to know the specifics of it. So I'm sorry if I went into this big picture ramble. I really do that a lot, and I apologize. I got to get better at being more specific, right? But I would say to sum all that up in a specific way, it's about framing your life and going and asking yourself this question. Okay, ask yourself this question every single day. If I'm going to be of the utmost service to others in my particular influence or vicinity, what actions can I take? What ways of being can I integrate? That's a big one too. What ways of being can I start to embody or integrate if I were to choose being of utmost service to other people? And there's a specific energy you can feel, that you can meditate with, you can integrate, that will help you to shift your actions and ways of being if you are coming from that place. Okay? And I'll share this. This is the last point I'll share on this, and then I'll answer some more questions. Which is, oftentimes before this live stream, even to this day, right? Even though I've done it so many times, I will get into my head and I'll go, God, how can I come on here and share? It's just crazy. But how can I come on here every week? But particularly every week right before it happens. This always happens with me. You guys have to know. Every week it's like, how can I come on here today, of all days, Spirit? After what I'm going through, I don't have any of the answers. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this is happening. And yet I'm supposed to come on here and lead this collective to share the wisdom and insights that we're supposed to know when I have no freaking clue. And I always have this conversation. I'm like, how, Spirit, how? What am I going to say this time? And the answer is always the same. They're like, you don't got to worry about that. You do not have to worry about that. The only thing you have to worry about is choosing to do it. And they literally told me this morning, they're like, we'll take care of the rest. And they did. They did. Honest to God, I have no idea what's going to happen on every live stream, and especially today. And they took care of it. But I had to choose to be of service. And that was the point I was going to get, is like, the only reason I get in my head and confused is because I'm worried about me. I'm worried about what you guys will think of me. I'm worried about, me being seen as a failure or someone who doesn't know what they're talking about or a fraud or anything like that, right? And again, they're just like, that's not why you're here anyways. They're like, if we were concerned with you, not being perceived as crazy by others, then this wouldn't be your field. But the answer is, if for me, like, if I hit that mindset of being, all right, whatever I say, whatever I do, it's going to be totally in service for others. Whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I'm being, it's going to be solely for others. Then everything, all the anxiety, all the confusion goes away. Because now I can just be. Because I know it's whatever comes out is for you guys. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you guys think of me. It doesn't matter what, you know what I mean? So that's what I hope that makes sense. I hope that gives you your answer. But that has completely shifted my way of being too, by the way. And it's just allowed me to be more expressive, more free in my expression. It's like, if I'm really, truly just in service to others and I don't really care about my ego or what people think of me or what people see, or it's a totally different come from. All right. So that's what I would do. Jelaine, thank you for donation. A sign for whoever needs it that big changes are coming. Thank you. Yes. I agree. Okay. I'm not even going to read the conversation. Kasana says, if you ladies compete for Brandon, just so you know, I ain't going to be the referee. I'm not even going to read into that. I'm just searching for the question, guys. All right. So Rachel, if you're still here, let me know if that made sense and if that answered your question. I'm going to read a couple more others. Your energy gave me some life here. Sounds like church, says Fireflies. Yeah. Up to You Tarot says, I'd like to say that apathy is not powerful, but neutral is actually ultimate. I actually really like that. Thank you for sharing that. And I totally agree. I think what I was more trying to share, right, in that neutrality is that apathy, or that apathetic approach of like, I just don't know what to do or where to go, right? But neutrality from a perspective of like not being overly attached to any certain outcome and being in a place of surrender, I do agree that would be ultimate. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. You always have really good points. So thank you. Oh, the last thing I wanted to share about that whole point, just to be clear. And I have to share this because I'm an Aries, and often Aries are concerned with, it's the path of self, right? Or it's the path of prioritizing self and what the self needs to thrive. Okay. But I want to differentiate that from like the path of negative polarity. All right. There's a difference between taking care of the self, all right, in a way that helps you to be of more service, and choosing a path of service to self. Does that make sense? So I know it's a little confusing, but let's differentiate those two, because what I've found is, here's the other big point. As you choose service to others, okay, as you choose that path, you are automatically by default choosing service to self. Because there's a couple things that'll happen. The law of reciprocity states that the energy and resources you will receive back from your service will be equal to, right? Equal to the amount of impact that you give out. That's number one. And that's where faith comes in. So you are, by choosing the path of service, also choosing the path to self. The other thing is, right, by nature of the law itself, is if you choose service to others, the positive path, by nature, if you do not take care of yourself first, as I think Up to You, Taro mentioned, you will not be able to, right, be of greatest service to others. You guys see that? So it's like, there's a difference there. And I just want to be clear about that. So you guys think I'm not just saying like, give yourself endlessly with no regard to yourself. I'm not saying that. If you are truly on the path of service to others, by nature, you will be required to prioritize and take care of yourself in a way that nurtures or enhances your ability to be of service to others. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. So when I understood that, you know, especially as an Aries sun, I go, oh, hallelujah. All I have to do is have faith. And so long as I am truly dedicating myself to others and their growth, their healing, their transformation, I will be taken care of. Okay? And my desires will also be met through that. You know? So anyways, thank you for that. All right, a couple more. All right, Jelaine W says, so Jelaine is, I love Jelaine's questions. What is the DM role in all of this if the DF does all the manifesting and healing? Are you doing personal readings again? Likely I'm going to be doing them very soon again. I've gotten a lot of requests, and I do feel like it would be probably beneficial for others and for me at this time to start doing personal readings again. I'll be very honest, I've been enjoying a lot. I've been enjoying the time off. I'm enjoying like the freedom, just the exploration of life, the self-nurturing. But I feel like personal sessions will be coming back. Not sure exactly when in the near future, though. So just be on the lookout. I'll announce it so you guys will know. Okay. But to your other question, what is the DM role in all this? The DF does all the manifesting and healing. Are you doing personal readings again? Look, the DM's role is just to act out of the unconscious, right? In a surface level and unconscious way. Like the DM's role is just to act out of the unconscious hurt and pain and experience that he is embodying at this time, right? But to act it out in an unconscious way in order to spark, all right, the growth and embodiment of the feminine's true nature and abilities and worthiness. Okay, if we talk about the metaphor of water, this is a very relevant metaphor to and for the collective and feminine at this time. Is she has had to understand and embody and integrate the depth of what the power of water, love, compassion, but really the power of water is, in order to be of her greatest self, okay, and integrate her greatest self. So in all honesty, in all honesty, straightforwardly, I would really genuinely say that at this point, what the actions of the DM have been and the purpose of them has been a contract, like an contracted karmic intention before coming into life to come into our life, to act out in certain ways of being from an unconscious place of hurt and trauma that have, again, sparked and or allowed the growth and embodiment of the feminine and who she really is, what she's here to do, as much as possible. That is to a T what the last karmic chapter has been about, that has completed. And again, I want to stress that there is no way of knowing, and it does not serve us to, really at all, in any way, feel into what comes after this with that particular individual. Because right now, energetically, it's just is what it is. It's dead. So there is no future that I can, at this time, at least as a reader, feel into between those two souls that have been engaging, at least in this collective. There's no future. Okay. Obviously, we all have free will. We all have choice, blah, blah, blah. But that's just what the energy is telling me right now. Okay. But that was the purpose, if you're wondering. Up to you, Tara. Hallelujah. Up to you, Tara. Are you an Aries? I wonder. Oh, Mel's an Aries. Good. Jelaine. Awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to end this live now. I think it's been good. Freedom. Cindy, I'm not doing the signs, but I did release a Capricorn specific monthly reading on my channel. So if you want to go check that out, it should be on my videos. Amy says, instead of looking for someone to treat me good, I decided to treat myself the way I always wanted to be treated. LOL. I'm in a relationship with myself now, and I found my perfect peace. Wow. Oh my gosh. Like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. If it's anyone's, oh my God. Like, I just want to, just shower you with praise, Amy, for saying that. That is, you know what? I don't even know if I could do this. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin your message. There you go. We have Amy's message. We have pinned your message, Amy, because if there's any one truth or recommendation or just way of being that we could possibly look to, it's that statement. Thank you for saying that. I think it's wonderful. All right. Good stuff. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. That was really, just that hit me in my soul. I'm like, whoa, there's the truth here. All right. This will be the last question, Sana, but thank you. Last question. So the last question comes from Tessa Cat Pristine. Oh, interesting. Play Freebird. What's the difference between a soul path and a life path? All right. This is a very interesting. I've never been asked this. Let me take a sip of cacao and we'll answer this last question. Soul path and a life path. Actually, a really good question. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of, I'm sure a lot of you have, but Dolores Cannon. Between Death and Life is one of my favorite books from her. And one of the things they talk about in that book is that every soul before they incarnate into their body, into their baby body, right? And every soul, right, choosing their family, choosing their conditioning or their upbringing, choosing the circumstances within which they've incarnated in order to have a certain experience, in order to learn certain lessons, in order to accomplish a certain way of being or a goal, okay, when they die. Now, what she talks about something really interesting, which is that every one of us before we come into life have a perfectly laid out, orchestrated, determined plan for life, okay? We have certain experiences that we're going to have, certain contracts we're going to engage in with other people, certain lessons we're going to learn. All of that stuff is all preordained. Okay. And then she says, we come into life, and of course we go through the veil of forgetting. We forget all of what we intended. This is on purpose, right? Because it wouldn't be a test if we knew all the answers, she says. And then we have free will. So even though as a soul we came in and we had all of these intentions, we knew exactly why we were coming in, we knew the lessons, we knew the people we're going to interact with, we all forget all of it. And then we get to choose from a place of unknowingness. And it's the choices we make in life that determine whether or not we're going to learn the lessons we initially intended. So I would say the difference between a soul path and a life path is a soul path is what you initially intended on experiencing and being and choosing and doing as a soul before you incarnated, which again is also why I love astrology. That's the astrological chart, right? The astrology chart lines up with a soul's initial blueprint or intention as to why they incarnated. Again, tendencies, strengths, weaknesses, conditioning, life path, purpose. It's all shown in the astrology chart, which is why it's such an amazing science. But again, just because it's written in the stars, right, doesn't mean that it is destined or has to happen, because we can choose, and we do choose with our free will. Okay? So our life path then, if that's a soul path or a soul blueprint that we literally took the time to craft and create, okay, based on what we wanted to experience or learn in this lifetime, then a life path would be the actual choices that happen, the actual life that we live as in human form based on our choices, which is often very different from what we originally intended, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Okay? Because again, sometimes things change. And I'm going to say this. This might be a controversial statement, but I'm going to say it anyways. That within this whole twin flame situation, okay, it's a perfectly reasonable way of thinking or perceiving this, that when we were getting those channeled messages about coming into union and everything coming together and just waiting a little longer until he or the other person figures it out, it's a perfectly reasonable way of looking at this, that was what maybe we did intend at one time. Like maybe that was the perfect intention of what the soul had on this journey. That then changed because of free will and choices of other souls outside of our control. That is a perfectly reasonable and possible explanation for why things have shifted and come out in the way they've come out. Because every choice from every soul creates a tremendous impact of change. Okay? Here's the awesome thing about it though, right? Is that even though that potentiality did not come into beingness, it does not mean that we are in any way, shape, or form restricted or limited in the quality of life and love and lessons that we can experience from here on out. Because everything is a lesson. Everything there is growth. Everything there is opportunity. Limitless potentiality. So, by things energetically shifting in the way that they did, and honestly, I mean, I really don't know the answer to this. Maybe that is the case. Like maybe that's why these readings have just taken a sudden, complete shift to where they are now compared to where they were. I don't know. Okay. But either way, we are still now here, totally maybe off the original soul intention and plan and contracts. And now we're creating from that place. Do you guys see that? Two equally valid ways of looking at this, right? That, that was what was destined to happen all along, that we, were just meant to go through that experience. Or maybe because of free will and choice, things changed from the original plan, right? Either way, they're equally valid. And either way, right, this collective, for whatever reason, seems to be experiencing the consequences of a similar choice that was made. So however you choose to look at it, that's up to you. That's your perspective. But those are the perspectives I want you guys to start to look at and integrate, because they're helpful. They're helpful to understand and to look at this, because that's really, that's possible. But either way, again, now where do we go from here? And I think I'll end it with that, with the title of the live stream itself. Okay. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already done so, I would really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Helps this channel serve and bring light to more people, and for the YouTube algorithm to help this video be recommended to those who need it on their path the most. Okay. So I appreciate that. Follow me on Instagram at BT Speaks if you want occasional human posts and updates and live streams on there. You can also find me on TikTok, and I will be announcing if and when those personal sessions open back up again in the near future. All right. There are also individual Zodiac readings on my channel. If you haven't seen yours already, definitely go check it out. And I just want to say I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the donations. I mean, so blessed, both on TikTok and on YouTube. It's a lot of money. Thank you. And truly wishing all you guys the best, okay? Feel free to as well. I know, I've got a lot of people emailing me too and just sharing their story and whether or not this resonated and things like that. And I'm more than happy to receive emails and stuff like that from you guys if you want to share. I may not be able to respond to it immediately, but I do read them, and they do give me a lot of joy. So thank you guys for that. All right. Thank you. Hey, Empress 1111. There she is. You're welcome. Up to you, Taro. Thank you. You're appreciated too. Oh, and look out for Austin, Texas, or the surrounding areas of Austin, Texas. Definitely feeling more and more drawn to that area as time goes on. So maybe we'll all converge at that area. All right. Take care, guys. Bye for now.